Okay. Okay, so, Christine, we are now coming to your one shot with Sir setting out on his own. Do you want to give me a recap of what you remember from last session and where Sir would be at this moment?
Yeah. So we had previously accomplished Demiria's quest of sending the crown to rest with the Raven Queen, um, sailing down the river Styx until we found her. I'm not going to rehash all of the
Yeah,
different
no, you're good.
encounters that we had. The I guess the one relevant thing is that we all got cursed at some point, and my curse is that at 10 p.m. every night, I become terrified and invisible
hmm hmm
for 1 minute.
No
And
one
then we
can
were all
see me. Ah.
yeah. Panicking. And then yeah, we were all sitting around the night that we got back and deciding what we were going to do, going on our solo adventures. And I was really interested to know a little bit more about this mysterious figure who appeared to me at some point in the cave below Areopolis and was like, it's time to collect. And I was like, what? And I never found out anymore. He just disappeared and he never came back again. But
hmm
since then, I've been feeling kind of bad. I feel like things just aren't going my way.
Just a tad
Maybe,
bit unlucky.
yeah, it's just not really doing great.
Speaking of which, I need you to roll a d6 for me.
Mm-hmm. Let me do it on Foundry. 1d6.
3. All right. All right.
So I don't know how I'm necessarily going to go about finding this guy, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is my goal.
So, you are currently on the airship in Drakengard. You guys have parked. Demiria left with Kaz to go to her event in Bolgraz. Zephyr has teleported off to go do research with Vexel, and Kaz is currently available for transportation services, but he's about to head off on his own to do his own investigation. So you're in Drakengard, which you know is a good place for resources of every variety. But what do you want to do? How do you want to try and approach this very open-ended problem?
Yeah. So I had two thoughts. Number one, I think actually Vexel might be a great resource to ask about the arcane, which is I'm pretty sure what happened here, right? Because I said that I would. I feel like it's fair to say that Sir connects this with the tattoo artist who gave him his tattoo.
Right.
There was a pact. It was not clear what the pact was, but obviously something happened there. So that's kind of where my starting place is. So I want to try to see if I can ask Vexel if she knows about the tattoo artist, who is the mysterious tattoo artist in Crystalia, who is way too powerful for just a regular Joe Schmo.
Okay.
And try to, check some library resources if that's available. And if I don't find anything there, my plan is going to be to just try to go back to Crystalia and see if I can find him again.
Gotcha. All right. Do you have sending?
I do not.
Well,
always relied on Zephyr for that.
It appears that Zephyr has already left to go work with Vexel. Fortunately, it doesn't seem like you have a method for contacting Vexel at the moment.
All right. Let me head to the library, and maybe somebody there will know sending. It's a pretty simple spell.
True. Yeah, in Drakengard, you recall that the location of the big library that you've been to before to do some research in the past it's known as the Archives of Ayun, the goddess of knowledge. You leave your airship and walk across the entire city to the archives, where it's a bustling summer day. The archives are open. You enter. There are dozens of people walking around, sipping coffee and doing research of their own variety.
I'm not really sure what I'm doing, and so I'm kind of humming to myself obnoxiously, and it's like just a little too loud.
Yeah, as you're walking around looking and humming loudly, you see one of the librarians look up from her ledger and kind of squint her eyes at you. If you see her out of the corner of your eye and you glance over, and she's like,
I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'll kind of like bustle over to her. It's like, I'm not really used to being in these spaces. I was wondering if you could help me.
All right. What is it that you need help with?
I'm looking for the mythology section and also maybe for somebody who could send sending for me.
Sending? Sure. You might want to go to the and you can purchase ascending through the Crimson Palace. One of the Drake Lord's mages can do that for you. But if you're looking for the mythology section, it's just up on floor 2 over in section G. And she points. You see the levitating, floating discs that are going up and down between the different floors that you can step onto and find the section of interest.
Oh my God. All right, thank you. Like,
she
super obnoxious.
She sighs and goes back to her ledger. But you go to the second floor, the mythology section. And there is coffee available for drinking here from the lounge. I assume you might want to indulge.
Seems like a great idea.
It does help with this process.
Go add plenty of cream and sugar, make it nice and sweet.
If you're going to start looking for... Tell me exactly what you're trying to find. What verbiage, what names, what are you looking for?
So, I'm trying to remember what his name was in Crystalia. Because I think it was originally Ramvig and then it was Garvin?
Garvin.
Is that correct?
Garvin was the one you met in Crystalia.
So I'm going to look for references to a feline-like character named Garvin.
All right.
Who is associated with some kind of magical tattoos.
All right. As you sip your coffee and begin to pull out random books off the shelf and flip through, looking for any mention of these things, make a investigation or history check for me with advantage.
2d20 key pious? Is that how you do it? It's like, no, bro.
You can also use your character sheet, which gives you their modifiers and everything.
But then I can't, then people can't see the rolls, right?
In Foundry, you can do it in Foundry. So, if you go to the Actors tab.
Actors, players, mittens.
Click on Sir.
I don't see Sir in the Actors tab.
All players. Oh, weird. Let me update this.
Oh,
and then,
it just appeared.
And then Christine
somehow.
Is the owner. Now you should be able to click on it.
Yeah, okay. And then I can do investigation. But I kind of liked my roll, so I want to keep it.
We'll keep the roll, but like, what's your modifier for investigation?
Investigation is 2, history is 5.
Okay, so you probably want history then. So 19 total.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the 19, you spend the whole morning in here, and you flip through book after book. There are plenty of documents about famous tattooists the world across over the years, and artists who are from Crystalia. There's discussions of magical art and magical tattoos, famous individuals known for these particular feats. But after all of that digging, the 19, you don't find anything that seems to fit. You find a tabaxi tattoo artist from Crystalia, but like their name is like Shelob the Spiky or whatever, and it's not like it's completely unrelated, and the way that they're described, it doesn't seem to fit any of the features or attributes that you associate with Ingvar.
Okay. I have one more question before I give up and ask Vexel, which is there any mention in these ancient stories and whatever magical writings about about externalizing one's luck?
Luck. You're kind of looking in like the histories of art section, more or less, and like the practice of the
Yeah.
arts.
This would be like an arcane
This would be
magic.
more like magic or like divine, like the nature of fate. That's a different topic entirely. So you can go look into that section as well.
All right, I want to do that.
Make another investigation check with advantage for me.
+5. Damn. That
You
was
only
so
rolled one.
bad. Oh, 17.
That's better. 24.
Nice.
Yeah, with a 24, you go and read in these sections. This time, you're only here for about an hour before you find an entry on deific avatars of fate. And there are mentions of a few distinct entities here. One is rumored, there's a very brief entry called Bialis Archon, a faceless deity associated with those who are of particular note. People, strong adventurers and diplomats and leaders across the world have mentioned meeting this entity at some point or another in the past, in a strange demi-plane, pitting them against their friends and foes just for entertainment. It's a strange entry, but very little is known about this enigmatic entity.
What'd you call him? Bialis Archon?
Bialis Archon.
Bialis Archon.
And as you note that, you keep going. This entity seems to have an interest in people who are particularly gifted or influential in the world. But this doesn't quite seem to fit what you've been looking into. You keep reading. You see an entry on you see an entry called, with a 24, Ingvar the Ephemeral. And there is another brief entry about an enigmatic creature that roams the world. This seems to be a relatively new entry, and it dated maybe 2 years ago in fresh ink. And it says, during my travels investigating the nature of fate, I encountered a tabaxi tattoo artist off of the southern edge of Burstpot Valley. His magical tent enticed me with its unique odors, and upon entry, he offered me a exchange of goods and services for a uniquely valuable magical tattoo, which I received. It continues to detail this encounter. It sounds very similar, if not identical, except the creature, Ingvar, is a different title than the names that you're used to. It says... you're going to say?
I was going to say, can I make an insight check to see if Sir figures out that it's an anagram?
Sure, yeah. Make a insight check.
20 plus 6. 16.
16. Yeah. Now that you've seen 3 of these names, you notice all the letters are indeed the same, and they all seem to be mishmash of the same combination of letters.
All right. And the tent was, in this case, the location was?
It was off the Burstpot Valley, which is a sort of geothermal active region to the south of the Dark Spires. You met Ranvig opposite that location in about here, between Archelon and Roxton, off the beaten path. And then this person's talking about meeting them here in the Burstpot Valley. You met them in Crystalia as well, as Garvin. So, taking this into account, you notice that all this entry, this description is written by archivist Sailweather, who seems to be, again, this was written about 2 years ago.
Okay. Archivist Sailweather. And I missed where you said we had... So we met him in Castalia, obviously, and then I'm looking at the map now. I had everything open.
It was on the road from Archelon to Roxton before you arrived in Roxton. That's the first time you met him.
Right. And then the other Burst Valley...
Burst
Pot Valley is down there. Okay. I'm wondering if there's any, symmetry to where he's showing up. Or, some reason... The geothermal valley was Burstpot Valley, and then, was there anything... in terms of natural resource where you met him?
It was
just Dark Spires. It's not
it was
energy.
Like a grassy patch of nothing in the middle of nowhere. The entry in the book says, like, because this is under, like, entries about fate and the nature of destiny, the archivist says, it felt like a fated encounter. It was such a unlikely encounter in the middle of nowhere that I felt truly it must have been something influencing me to be there at that time and that place to meet this creature named Ingvar. His work is impeccable, and I found it very useful in my travels, but I hope I meet him once again. Probably won't, though. An enigma, to be sure.
Interesting. Okay, so I know I'm not crazy. I know this guy has to do something with fate. Ultimately, I need to contact him, and I need him to respond. Right? Like, I can learn about him, but that's not really going to help me. So, I think what I'd like to do next is go back to my room and have a little meditative session.
Okay.
If it's about fate, then in theory, I should be able to communicate with him through non-normal means. I'm thinking if I just, put out my need to the universe and try to engage with the powers of fate, that maybe he will be drawn to me.
Interesting. All right.
So I'm going to go have a little drum session.
Okay. You return to your airship.
Not in my rooms. I'm going to go to the forest, the sanctuary.
Okay. The Melora's Temple.
Melora's Temple.
You go there. The forest animals are grazing grass and sitting in the tree branches on this beautiful summer day. Bright skies above, warm weather. What do you do?
Sit down. I'm going to pull out my drum. I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths. And I'm going to try to not compose, but play something that I've never played before, which is taking inspiration from my feelings when I was both getting the tattoo and then when Nivrag came to collect. So the two, important interactions I've had with this entity. And I'm going to try to put those feelings into the music, which is some mix of, the weird ephemeral power that came from this man who could do amazing things, as well as kind of my fear and uncertainty in seeing this, I don't know what I promised, and now this guy has come to collect, and the kind of darker flip side of that power.
Sure. Make a performance check with disadvantage, as you have counted down to your disadvantage roll.
Roll 1d20, 2d20. Keep lowest?
KL, yeah, keep lowest.
Plus performance. 21.
21. Yeah. I want to spend a misfortune point to make you roll a third time, just to see.
Very good. 18.
There we go.
Wow, that was so low.
That one. Hey. Okay, so what happens here?
Fuck.
You rolled. I spent the misfortune point. You had disadvantage, and then you rolled a nat 1, so I regained a misfortune point. So you currently have. I was net loss, 0 loss for me. Roll another d6 for me to reset the counter.
Oh my god. Roll 1d6.
2. All right. You sit here. You play this song, and as you are just getting it, you're hitting your stride. Like, okay, I think this is a really interesting verse. I can potentially try and channel this and connect with this nature of fate. There is a peacock sitting in the branch above you, and it takes a massive dump right onto your drum surface as you're really getting into it. And you can't even process that it's happened. You don't slow down, and in the end, you just splatter giant bird crap everywhere, and you have to stop and toss it aside and wipe yourself down. It's a mess.
Oh, I'm just so upset by this. I love all life, but not you.
The peacock just looks at you and then flaps away and coasts down to a different tree.
It can understand me. It knows I was cussing it out. Like, I'm gonna take your tail feathers and I'm gonna put them on my mantle.
Squawk!
Okay, this obviously isn't working. I think the next thing that I need to do is just go to Crystalia and see if I can find this guy. Because this is not working for me. So I'm gonna go find Kaz.
Okay. He was taking a short rest on the deck after bouncing around, dropping off Zephyr and Demiria. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're next, I guess. So he, with his help, you teleport to Crystalia. Go over to there. To the Crystal Sand Desert. All right. So as you arrive in Crystalia, Kaz says, good luck. Is there a time you want to coordinate me to pick you up? Because otherwise I'm going to leave.
Yeah, I don't know how I would find him again. We don't have any, like, squirrels ascending or anything on us.
No.
Okay.
You can probably buy one at the local, like, bazaar here, but might be expensive.
Okay. I don't want to get... I guess if I... Let's say, like, 3 days' time. Come back.
Okay.
Pick me up. If I need you faster than that, I can buy a sending scroll.
Okay. He says, great, I'll be here in 3 days. See you then. And he teleports away. You walk out into l'ensemble. I don't know how to say that. But you stand there in the bustling desert city of Crystalia. It is blisteringly hot. It's well over 110 degrees here at the height of midday in the heart of summer. It's a desert. What do you want to do?
I'm going to try to go back to the place where we found his tent before, in that alleyway.
Sure. Make a history or investigation check to find your way back to that alleyway.
15.
You wander through the tightly set...
16. It was plus 6.
Tightly set city streets, and eventually you do find it. The alleyway of note. It is empty. As you walk into it and kind of look around, it's just a dead end. There's really nothing here. No trash cans, no rubbish. No, not really any foot traffic. Just kind of like a dead end of 3 buildings butted up against each other. What do you do here?
I'm getting really frustrated at this point, and so I'm just gonna like sit in the alleyway where his tent used to be and be like, Ingvar!
Okay.
Where are you? Nivrek! Garvin!
Let me think about this. I want to make you do a persuasion check, and I'm going to use a misfortune point to make it a disadvantage.
Fucking disadvantage is killing me. I have 17 to persuasion. Yeah. What? No.
Yeah. A 16 and a 19 plus 17 is 33.
Dude!
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I want to spend another misfortune point. The second one I have. Roll disadvantage again. I have 2 of them. Now I'm at 0.
Okay. Let's go. Oh, I'll take it.
9. Yeah. All right. So even with double disadvantage, with a 26, you sit there and you stubbornly beseech Ingvar to appear, shouting into the sky the various names that you know he might respond to, staring at this dead end, and after a while, nothing happens. You hear someone say, what you doing down there? And you see there is a tabaxi woman with kind of hairless tabaxi cat woman with really taut, kind of tanned features, staring down at you down the alleyway. And she says, "You looking for someone?"
Yeah, his name's Ingvar, and he's being a jerk.
Oh, she looks around and comes into the alleyway with you. Ingvar, you said. The tattoo guy?
Do you know him? Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, he's pretty talented. he gave me this, and she like pulls down one side of her neck, and you can see this like snaking. It's like a snake tattooed on her clavicle, kind of wrapping up around and like stopping at her neck. Um,
What does it do? That's so cool.
this lets me check in on where the hubby is whenever he's out and about.
It's a GPS.
It lets her cast Find Creature on her husband. But anyway.
I'm like, oh, do you not trust him?
Oh
guys
no.
can be such pigs.
He's a naughty boy. But we're despite all that, what's your business with Ingvar?
Well, I need to talk to him because I sold him something. That's kind of really important to me, actually. And I don't know. I think maybe we could come up with like a different deal. I just need some. I need to have him answer some questions, really.
I've seen him down this alleyway maybe 2 or 3 times. He's not here right now. I don't know where he goes off to.
Do you think he might be back soon?
Well, I don't know. Here, let's get some tea. Let's talk it over. She takes your hand, takes you to a local tea shop, which is out under like a big umbrella. You're served steaming, well, we'll say it's iced tea because it's so hot here. And it's quite pleasant. It's like a ginger mint blend. And you sit there drinking iced tea with this Tabaxi woman who introduces herself as Felina. She is a local and wants to know your history with Ingvar. You share the story that you already did, and she talks about her experience just finding him one day. And all of that being said, she says, well, it's been a while since I've seen him, maybe a couple years. He does appear down that alleyway now and then. And I heard from an associate of mine that there is a chance that he sometimes comes back on a full moon. That seems to be a preference of his. I haven't checked that theory, but it's a possibility.
Well, that's as good of a lead as I have. When's the next full moon?
She says, you know what? I don't really pay attention to those sort of things. Give me a nature check. With disadvantage because you reached your minimum again.
Again? Oh, because you got the other one back.
The other one was me being deliberate.
This is so rough.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Nature?
Disadvantage of nature, yeah. Yeah, you have no idea. Now roll a d6 for me to reset this counter.
1d6. Oh, low.
Neither of you have any idea.
Okay. Well, thank you, Felina. I really appreciate your help. Is there anything I can do for you? Do you need anything?
No, I'm good. I'm just out doing my daily shopping.
I can maybe talk to your husband. Fear of God in him.
No. He knows better than to try anything. I haven't used this in years now, but he knows it exists, so keeps him in line.
All right, very good. Well, I'm gonna go try to figure out when the next full moon is.
All right. How do you do that?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a note from Zephyr's book, even though I don't know that she said this. It's easier to ask people who know things than to figure out things. So I'm gonna go around. Is there a temple to anybody who worships the moon?
The moon goddess, Selunar, as she's commonly known these days, there really isn't, at least not here. Make an investigation check for me.
Or maybe Pellar, or somebody who has to do with, like, yeah.
You ask around for, like, some religious guidance, and easy, 21. You are directed to the Beta Rho Omega chapter of the Brotherhood of Hieronius, people clerics and paladins who may be well informed about the goings on of the world and the more arcane nature of our reality. You go over there. You see there are about 15 or so glistening, muscular men and women that are currently in the process of doing a workout routine, doing jogging around the exterior perimeter of this brick building. Some are doing pull-ups, some are tossing back and forth like small boulders in the sand, in the heat. They're all very tan, sunburnt even. And yeah, you approach one who stops and spins around. You see this hulking man, bald head, bushy beard down to his navel, and he says, "Hey, what can I do you for, bro?"
I'm like, hello. I was wondering if you knew when the next full moon was.
Well, let me ask my supervisor. And he like jogs off. And they have a quick whispered conversation. He jogs back over and he says, well, that'll be in about 2 days.
Well, that's awfully convenient.
Wait.
That's within my 3-day window.
Which one?
I didn't.
Are in fact two moons.
Didn't ask.
There's the larger like yellowish one and the smaller bluish one.
Well,
the blue one is in
the
2
soon
days.
one. Yeah, we're gonna hope it's that one.
The next full moon of the white one isn't until the 15th of next month. So,
fingers crossed, it's the blue one.
All right.
Thanks, bro.
No problem, bro. Bro, do you lift? Because you got a nice frame for it. I feel like you could really put on some muscle if you really dedicated yourself to it.
I'm like, well, I could try if you want me to.
Well, if you got the time, we're doing our routine this morning. So.
I'm like, okay, sure, why not? I have nothing to do today.
All right. You unpack, take off the heavy or I guess not that heavy, mithril half plate that you've been wearing. It's getting very hot and uncomfortable in this heat. And you proceed to join in a workout routine with the Brotherhood of Hyronius. Make an athletics check for me. With advantage as they coach you.
Oh, man. Athletics is +3. +3.
15.
15.
You know, for someone who's never had any formal weight training, you do pretty good. It's exhausting. You are sweating like a pig by the end of it. But they keep giving you like refreshing watermelon essenced water to cool off with. They have a fan like blowing. They have someone whose job it is just to crank this fan. It's like a rowing machine, but it generates wind to cool off the rest of the bros. And so you enjoy that. And they say, "Hey, bro, that was great. Are you from the area? You don't seem like you're from the area."
No, I'm not. And you know what? You guys are the nicest people I have ever met.
That's our calling, bro. This is what we do.
I feel so comfortable here. Could we like, I don't know, maybe we could like go to dinner and like hang out maybe?
Bro, absolutely. We gotta go around and make sure the local homeless have food for the night. But like after that, totally, bro. I'm in.
I love doing that. I can heal. Does anyone need healing?
Perfect. This is such a good fit. Hyronius, be praised. This is a good day. So for the rest of the day, you accompany the Brotherhood of Hyronius as they go about doing their various charitable acts for the day. You provide some healing and cool some sunburns along the way as needed, and they're very grateful for your assistance. They take you.
So
go ahead.
as we go, I'm thinking I've been really wanting to talk about this like whole Atrexelon thing in my heart of hearts. Mm-hmm. But like my party is, like they've got their own stuff going on. They're not exactly the most emotionally welcoming people. They kind of blame me for releasing Atrexelon. So, like it's not really the comforting environment that one would want. So as we're going around and helping people, I'm going to start kind of like just like saying little things that imply that I want to talk a little bit more. Like,
sure.
I've been really struggling lately with this problem.
Yeah.
Start like telling them the story bit by bit of like this terrible creature.
They listen.
That I released.
They listen very well. It comes out in little bits and pieces here and there, and you can sense no judgment from them. Just pure acceptance radiating off of these bros. And they take you out to dinner. They go to a simple place. It's like a sandwich shop, but it's good. It's hearty food, high protein. And you really open up. Make a medicine check for me as you
To
attempt to
heal
seek
my
therapy.
soul.
Again, with advantage
Medicine.
because these bros, they know what to do. This is their whole shtick.
Ah,
9. You really, it's mostly just offloading at this point, and they listen. There's several. There's like 3 of them. The first guy you met, this female dragonborn woman with like golden scales and 2 frills on her head, and then an orcish gentleman with kind of gray skin and a big mohawk of red hair, not unlike your own. And but they listen really well, and they're very very helpful. You don't feel like you've really made any progress personally, but they listened, and like they now understand you and where you're coming from, and they say, you know what, bro, are you in town for a while?
for 3 days.
Okay, well, how about this? You stick around with us. You help us out. We'll give you lodging for the night. We can talk about this more as we go. Like, you know, just to see like how you're feeling and really work through this.
That would be so great. Thank
All
you
right,
so
bro.
much.
They finish the meal. They pay for it. In fact, it's not paid for at all. The shop owner is pro bono for the work that they do, and you jog back to their Beta Rho Omega chapter to spend the night there in this open air dorm, essentially, with a bunch of somewhat smelly individuals who have unabashedly welcomed you into their midst. You feel
So nice.
it is very nice. It's very different from like the hominess of your hometown village in Oakhart, but the unabashed welcoming nature of these people is unique. So you get a long rest, and you glance out the window. You do see the 2 moons in the sky. The blue moon is indeed just a sliver away from being full, and you get a long rest. The next day, you once again join the Beta Rho Omega chapter in their morning routines. Make another athletics check for me
Okay.
with advantage.
20. Keep highest plus 3. 19. I'm
2
feeling
successes. All right, with that, you've gotten some incredibly good coaching about proper form, how to lift with your legs and not your back, sort of stuff like that you've never really formally experienced. I will grant you a permanent +1 to your strength score as a result of
What?
training with the Brotherhood of Hyronius. So it's 11
That's
currently.
huge.
It's 12 now.
it. Dude. That's huge. Wait, does that actually make it go? Is it odds or even so it goes up?
It's even, so you get +1 bonus to your strength checks now, which is tiny, but it's pretty significant
It's significant, yeah.
when you're at
Nice.
0 currently. Yeah.
Guys, I'm feeling so good. I never thought I could be strong before, but like,
Well,
you guys
like
are
I said,
awesome.
like I said, bro, you got the frame for it. You're a big guy. You know, you just gotta get some form before you even try to be strong. But you're doing great. Just keep up this routine. It'll really make a difference in your balance of your life. You know.
Yeah, I feel so good. I felt so lost for so long, and I'm finally starting to feel like maybe. No, who am I kidding?
No, bro. See, you gotta start strong in body, strong in mind, right? So we're strong in body today. Let's go on this, do some more of these duties that we have every day, and try to work on our brain too. So
Brain
they
day.
go out and do the more charitable acts out in the city of Crystalia, and you continue to divulge yourself as you go, as you waste time. Not waste time. You work on yourself while you spend time waiting for the full moon to come around. Make another medicine check to seek therapy with the Brotherhood. You would have advantage, but this is your countdown, so it's just a straight check on without disadvantage.
Medicine is 6.
6.
Oh,
Nat 20 plus 6. All right. In spite of the bad luck that you have been feeling kind of swirling around you ever since the Trexelon and your desperate bid to get this cool tattoo, you've just really been feeling kind of on the edge and kind of disrupted internally. But this, for the first time, in spite of all that, the calming, loving, embracing presence of the Brotherhood has really enriched your life in these past few days. And you feel, as they listen, begin to ask you questions like, now, bro, when this big dragon thing woke up, do you feel like that was actually your fault? Or just, you were there trying to help people, which is the right thing to do, and bad things happen to you, and that's not necessarily your fault.
But, I mean, I would love for that to be true.
It is true, bro, based on what you told me. I think if your friends heard what you had to say about this, and I think they would tell you just the same thing. And on it goes.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, with a nat 20, I'll say you decide how you want that to play out, but, like, you do receive a good amount of mental therapy for these things that you've been carrying with you. The bad luck still follows you. You could feel it kind of like a darkness in the back of your mind, but in spite of that, you have really come to a much better sort of internal calm regarding these topics.
Yeah, and I think previously I felt like the bad luck was, something I was trying to get rid of, but it was kind of something I deserved, because I was like, I kind of fucked up. Now I'm thinking maybe I deserve better. Maybe I was actually just trying to do the right thing, and it's not, it wasn't my fault. It was just the next task that's in front of me now. And we got to be strong, and we got to have good luck to take a Trexelon on.
That's what I like to hear, bro. All right. So, the day comes to a close. You get dinner once again. The sun begins to set. The bros say, you were saying you got something to do tonight? You're heading off?
Oh, yeah. I have to go meet someone.
All right. Well, bro, it's been a pleasure. You're welcome back anytime. If you ever want to visit another chapter, another city, they're always welcoming to whoever might come. So just let them know that you've worked with us before, and they'll know where to pick back up from where we've done this work today. And keep on doing that strength training, bro. It's worth it.
Like, thank you so much. I give him a big hug.
All right, he hugs you back. Yeah, you feel very appreciated.
Like the therapy I didn't know I needed. So sweet.
All right.
And I head off to the alleyway.
To the alleyway. The sun sets over the beautiful desert, and you see the alleyway ahead. Before you even turn the corner, you smell the incense floating on the air, and you're like, he's here.
I'm walking a little faster.
You walk a little faster, go around the corner. You see, at the far end of it, the purple tent, the smoke kind of gently drifting out from the tent flap at the center, and the sign hanging over it that's labeled, not Garvin, but Ingvar's Inks.
Alright, fuck, I didn't even think about what I was going to say to him. I mean, we made a trade. I traded my luck, as far as I understand it. How does that even work? Maybe I just need clarification on that's what I did. Really, I want good luck so that I can beat a Trexelon, so I need to somehow get him to take it back, but it was payment, so maybe it's just done. Okay. Let's go. And I'll poke my head into his tent.
Stick your head in. Inside, you see the similar tent arrangement you've seen before. Very, very similar, but it's been rearranged a little bit. There is a dwarvish man that's currently sitting with a long, flowing white beard, purple robes, and he's scribbling on a piece of paper. He turns and looks at you, and you see the feline cat eyes glowing from within his heavy brows. He says, "Ah, sir, pleasure seeing you again so soon. What can I do for you?"
Now a good time? Can we chat?
Oh, sure. I like to hang out in this location on nights like this. I think it's a good spot for contemplation and sometimes pick up some work. What do you need? What can I help you with? Also, roll another d6 for me.
God damn. I'm like, well, first off, would you like a cup of tea?
I would love a cup of tea. What do you have?
Anything you want.
How about juniper tea? You ever try that?
Have I ever tried that?
Well, you are from, like, a pine forest. Make a nature check.
Stop making me make checks. 12.
Yeah, 12 is high enough. It's a low DC. You have, in fact, had Juniper tea before.
All right, coming right up. I'll summon two large. Well, do you have mugs?
Um, yeah, sure. He reaches over to the table, and you glance over where he's reaching, and there definitely wasn't like cups there before, but he just like picks up like two large earthenware mugs and puts them down in front of you.
And I will summon two aliquots worth of tea into each of the mugs.
All right.
Put some effort into trying to make it the most delicious, just lightly sweetened, lovely tea he's ever had, so that he likes it.
It's basically pine needle tea, you do a good job though. As the scent comes off of it, it kind of blends with the heavy incense of the tent, and you're like, yeah, this is a good batch. He sips at it appreciatively and says, "Excellent, thank you." So, sir, I heard you calling the other day, but I was preoccupied. What?
I figured. Don't worry about it.
Right. I don't normally have this much one-on-one interaction with folks. I tend to keep to myself, and people go about their merry way after our business. What do you want?
Well, I was hoping... You seem like a man who appreciates straight shooting. I was hoping you would tell me more about the deal that we made last time we talked, and potentially ask you to give me a different option. The reason is that I have this really massive task ahead of me, about Atrexelon. I'm sure you do, because you're very powerful and all-knowing and all that.
I wouldn't say that, but...
I assume that you are aware of the situation, and, I think I'm one of the only people that can actually put him back to sleep or seal him away, as is going to be required in the near future. So I'm going to need that luck. Is there anything else I can do for you to get it back?
Well, Ken leans back and sips some more of his tea. Says, I don't think you're talking to the right person to rescind or augment an existing deal. You see, I'm a little complicated, and if you want to talk to the person in charge, you're going to need to go visit him directly. If that makes sense.
It makes no sense at all. How do I find him?
He sips his tea again. Well, here's what you got to do. You need to go find a object in this realm that will take you to him. I have no idea where it is, but this object has been lost in this realm for quite some time. But it should give you a direct path to his front door, if you will.
Sounds really promising. Can you tell me a little bit more about this object?
My peers refer to it as the Leprechaunomicon. Leprechaunomicon.
Uh-huh. And what the hell is that, might I ask?
Well, it's a lot of things. Hard to describe. It's often considered a book, but depending on who's working with it, it could be many things. But it's a rare and magical tome that is associated with where my sort of better halves come from.
Fascinating. Can you give me any kind of defining characteristics? Is it teleportation? Magic? You said it was going to take me to his front door.
That. Yeah, it can do that.
Does it have other qualities?
Oh, many. It is a rare and mystical thing.
And it's been lost for how long?
Oh, I don't know. Hundreds of years, probably. Time is a little not my strong suit. What? Think some more. Finishes his tea. He
Who was
says,
the last person to have seen it?
well, I believe it was last seen in the possession of not a friend of mine, but an acquaintance. He stole it from his queen as a practical joke, and then ended up losing it while running through the forest, densely wooded area. I think it just kind of got lost and made its way to your realm after that. You haven't seen any of those things, any magical books lying around, have you?
I've seen some magical books, but they're mostly the self-help kind of books.
Make a history check.
1d20 plus 6.
Nothing strikes a bell.
Okay, let me think. Let me actually think as a person.
I'm gonna get some water really quick.
Magical books did we find? What magical books did we find? Found 12 magical books in Arian's library. The cloning books. I'm thinking about all the magical books we found in Therion's library and all that stuff about cloning.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of magical books are you talking about? There's a lot of magical books in this world.
Well, I think you would know it if you saw it. It's a very unique, powerful artifact.
Does it talk?
Sometimes.
Bookvar! Talking about Bookvar?
I haven't heard that term used before, but
It's like a friend, but he's a book.
yeah, that sounds like something it would do.
I know. I met him.
You
His
did?
name is Bookvar. He likes pizza.
Oh. Well, in that case, I don't know what pizza is, but if
really
he likes
good.
that, maybe bring him some of that. Anyway, he could probably help you.
And okay, wait. When I find him, is he like a brethren of this Leprechaun Nomicon book, or is he like? What should I ask him? I'm a little confused still.
No, it sounds like this book for which you refer to is the Leprechanomicon.
Oh,
It sounds like something Leprechanomicon would do.
so he's mischievous.
Yes.
Is he evil?
That's subjective.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a good place to start. So I should find him and then ask him if he'll teleport me
I would start there, yeah.
to Nivrag. Does he know who Nivrag is?
Oh, well, certainly.
Okay.
I mean, I do as well, but it's very difficult to explain. I recommend you go there, seek out an audience directly. Don't worry about coming back to me. Like I said, I'm a complicated person, and I'm not quite the right person to be speaking with at this moment.
You are fascinating and very helpful. This has been an amazingly useful exchange. Is there anything I can do for you?
Well, you can see him like smile a little bit. He says, "At the
Thank
moment,
you for
no.
your information.
I'll be looking forward to the next we meet, and perhaps I'll have something for you then."
I'm like, all right. Well, I'm here. Did I buy one of those cigars off you?
Oh, sure. He digs around in a box and he says, "On the house. Thanks for the tea." He tosses you a like purplish cigar that has some unknown magical herb within it.
Love it. Ingvar's cigar. Well, that's fantastic. I know exactly where Bookvar was. He was south of Greymore. He was one of the first encounters we ever had.
Mm-hmm.
On the way from Greymore to Leafside.
He was in about a 2 or 3 days journey south of Greymore in the Timberlands, and you were drawn to his location because an old man, old Fenric, was there. You were asked by the mayor of Greymore to visit him, and there were hollows knocking his door down when you found him, and you fended him from that. That's how you met this
Yeah.
original.
Yeah. And then we like hung out with him for a little bit, and we were like, "Tell us about your book," and he was like, "It's Bookvar."
It's my book. All right.
Okay, so I need to get back to Greymore, which means I need teleportation, which means I need to wait for Kaz.
All right. Is there anything else you want to do with your last day? You go back to the Brotherhood to sleep again. You have maybe 12 hours before Kaz will come pick you up at noon.
I want to get an assortment. I know you like pizza. I want to go get an assortment of like interesting different foods from the market.
Okay.
To basically like treat him when I find him.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me.
20 plus. What is it? 3. 13.
13. Yeah. You go around shopping, and you don't find pizza, but you do find a variety of fun local ingredients and sausages and things of that nature that you could easily turn into pizza. 10 gold, you could have a full grab bag of assorted pizza making supplies that you can take with you.
I have 5 gold and 100 coppers.
Perfect. That's right, you're completely broke. I'll say, I forgot, you literally have no money. Okay, 5 gold. You get a couple sausages and like one fresh durian that maybe you could turn into an interesting pizza. But it's a little bit less substantial than you would have hoped. You're now completely broke.
Can I try to persuade? Can I try to haggle?
Sure, make a persuasion
to
check.
Get some more
misfortune point time. You have disadvantage on this check.
Lol, okay. Keith Lois plus 17.
Which is a nat 1, so...
It's a 1 and a 20.
So I gain another misfortune point back, and roll a d6, and no, they don't accept your offer. You pay all the money you have, and you only have half the amount of stuff you wanted.
4.
Finally higher than 3. Okay, so I have 1 misfortune point back. We're counting down from 4.
I have 0 money.
And you have 0 money. Absolutely none.
Good.
Every last copper you had, you spent on pizza supplies.
I spent on food.
All right.
I have a lot of stuff, so there's that.
That's true. Your wealth is all tied up in assets. Not very liquid. You wait for Kaz to arrive. He does on time, and he looks a little weary, like he's a little tired from zipping around, and you can see he's got some like small like cuts and scrapes on his cheek, and you're like, "What's that about?" He's like, I'll tell you later. I'm busy. We gotta go." Where do you want to go?
Greymore is the closest, right? Because it's 2 days south of Greymore. So Greymore.
All right. You do know a teleportation sigil in Greymore, in the cave that you originally went to with Kelly Secreton. Kaz is like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure, let's do it. I haven't been back there in a while." You teleport there.
I'm gonna shoot Kaz a quick healing spell just to perk up his spirits.
Sure. You heal him a little bit. He says, "Oh, thanks. Those jungles, man, they're rough." Anyway, you get healed a bit, and you heal him a little bit, and you arrive at the teleportation circle in Greymore. You stand there. Kaz is like, "Okay, how long do you want to wait till I come back to pick you up? Do you want to meet back here? What's the deal?"
Let's say another 3 days. I'm going to probably a different realm. So
okay.
Time may pass very differently.
Sure. I'll come right back here in 3 days. We'll see what happens.
Oh, at least 4 days. No,
okay,
5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
I'll come back in 5 days to see what happens.
2 days there, 2 days back.
Retroactively, did you want Nasher to come with you for the ability to ride over cross country a little bit faster? Because that was a 2-day journey on horseback, and you walking on foot would be a little bit harder.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah, let's retcon that.
So you go get Nasher from the airship and bring Nasher with. So you're now in this like crumbled kind of cave entrance. Kaz leaves, coming back in 5 days, and you walk out through this dimly lit, kind of ruined cavern. As you step off the teleportation circle with Nasher and begin walking away, you hear the sound of grinding stone, and you turn around, and you see that the stone gargoyle that was posed there, kind of guarding this teleportation circle, you noted it the very first time you came here, but you never actually engaged with it. You just kind of avoided touching the circle entirely. It kind of like slowly, jerkily comes back to life, and its head turns towards you, and it says something in a language that you barely recognize. Make a history or intelligence check.
It's fucking Ascendant, isn't it?
It is.
But does Sir know that?
Well, you know some of the words, but not all of them.
19.
19. Yeah, you decipher enough that it says, in broken Ascendant, where have you come from, and what is your purpose for this visit?
Okay, what would he want to hear? He was made by Ascendants. I'm gonna say something really vague, like, I came from Crystalia, and I'm here fighting for the greater good.
Okay, make a persuasion check, because it's true. And you're saying this in what language?
I'm gonna say it in Ascendant if I can. I'm gonna try to say it in Ascendant.
Disadvantage on the check, because you only know half the words to say that, so you're trying your best to communicate.
23.
Pretty good. You see its eyes, like, just glowing faintly, kind of scanning you. It says, okay, and then, like, powers back down. You can tell that it like, kind of wanted to attack you, but with your very persuasive role, the fact that it's been dormant for God knows how many centuries, it's just kind of too tired to try. So, with the 23, it's adequate to pass by. You exhale and walk away from the stone statue and head down this tunnel. You remember this tunnel was part of a larger cave system that was once connected to the valley outside Greymore, and you went down here with Vexel, then Kelly, who was looking for this Herkabendi ruin stuff. But as you come into this cavern, you see it's actually cracked open. The ceiling has kind of opened, and it's crumbled away, such that you're now stepping out into the sunlight almost immediately, and you're just outside of Greymore in your current location. The earthquake that shook the area after Vexel summoned the Tarask has seemingly broken most of these caves.
Wow, that's pretty insane. I'm gonna like walk around, walk through it in wonder, and kind of like take it a little slow and just like take in all of the chaos that we have wrought and Vexel has wrought.
Yeah, there's a faint drizzle coming down here as you walk up to the edge of Greymore. It's been over a full year since you were here last, and you stop, just kind of take it in, see the destruction, but also like reflect on all the things that have happened since you started at this location. It's been a wild journey, but you're on a mission. You're in a hurry, so you mount up on Nasher and trot off to the south, heading to the road that takes you south to Leaf Side. And you're flooded with nostalgia as you ride this dirt road alone on your new pet, without your friends to follow you, but remembering the Kruthiks and the earthquakes and the mystery of this place as you make the journey south into the Timberlands.
It's a good time. Forge some friendships.
You remember that you were once very concerned about the presence of hollows on the journey, but now the roads are clear and safe. It's a 2-day journey to Old Fenric's hut, and we'll just kind of fast forward with that. Is there anything you want to do over the next 2 days while you just kind of ride on Nasher and chat with Nasher and enjoy the scenery?
I'm going to mostly be chatting with Nasher, seeing how she's feeling. Haven't spent a lot of time together. Mm-hmm. Seeing if she's still enjoying her job traveling with us, or if maybe she wants to retire. I don't know. And then I'm going to be... Oh, go ahead.
Animal handling check.
Animal handling check. No disadvantages?
Nope.
Or advantages? 29.
29. Nasher is a little out of shape. she's done some like aerobic stuff on the deck of the ship, but she hasn't been out on a proper
Calisthenics.
like road journey for quite some time. And yeah, she tells you all this and is a little like she's okay with it though. She was never really the combative type, so she's just happy to kind of be enjoying a leisurely stroll with you through the woods. This person that she trusts. Yeah, your bond with Nasher is renewed.
Awesome. I was originally going to say I'm going to put my 4 spell slots in, but I'm a little scared to do that on the road. So,
Well, you're
what
all
I'd like,
alone.
yeah. Can I retcon that I did that in Crystalia, or is it too late?
You can, yeah. This is in character what Sir would have done. So
Okay, because I think I might be reaching 3,000, and that might be relevant for this.
tell me if you surpass 3,000, but we'll just keep going
Okay,
otherwise.
so how many days was it in Crystalia? 4? 3?
3. Yeah.
Huh? Quick maths, quick maths. I get 62 levels a day. Times 3 days is
186.
186. And I had 2,872 plus 186 is 3,058.
All right. Yeah. As you surpass 3,000, you notice that the sigil on the tabor, it used to only kind of ignite and be visible when you're actively like playing the tambourine. Now it's just kind of a constantly glowing background sigil, this rune of Rudarok. But other than that, nothing seems to happen.
Okay. Glowing tabor. So it's like a little nightlight. Got a little flashlight.
It is a little bit of a flashlight.
Nice. Yeah, okay, so that's it. I'm not gonna like waste my spell or put my spell slots in while
Sure.
I'm alone. Too scurry.
Okay. You make the 2-day journey. Um, yeah, as you near Old Fenric's hut, you remember the path there, and you see now, as you come around the corner in the Timberlands, this path, this forested path that leads to a small hut further in. You see from a distance the pristine little stone hut of Old Fenric.
I will politely knock.
No need to knock. As you approach, the door opens. You see Old Fenric comes stumbling out. He says, "Who's there?"
Oh, hi, old Fenric. It's me. Do you remember me? It's Sir.
Oh,
We met a year ago.
sir.
I had
Sir.
my 3 friends with me. We saved you from the Hollows.
Uh. Oh, you're that nice young lot that came by and got rid of those scary man-eating people. Welcome
Yeah.
back. It's been quite a while. You come to check on Old Fenric, have you?
Yeah, I just wanted to, drop by, make sure you were okay, pay you a visit, maybe give you some pizza.
Pizza? That's so kind of you. Yeah, come on in, come on in. He waves you in, and you enter into Old Fenric's hut. You see that there is indeed lots of little like he has a garden in the back. There is a row of like vegetables that have been grown. He's got fresh produce hanging on his racks, and he is boiling some kind of stew. He says, "You brought pizza? You said?"
Well, yeah, I got some ingredients here. I start pulling them out of my bag.
Yeah. You start pulling out the sausages. It's a little bit underwhelming, but you know what? He lives in the woods by himself, so this is all pretty exotic for him from across the continents beyond.
Yeah, they got some spices even from all the way from
Wow.
Crystallia.
That'll be great. Bookfar, are you excited for that? You look over, you see up on the mantelpiece this large, like pink, like gold, rose gold, filigreed book sitting on a stand, and there are, jewels embedded within it. As you like stare at it, you're like, yeah, this is clearly an intensely magical, rare novel tome of untold power. Once again, as you like stare at it, you see it kind of like shiver and like flap across the room and like settle down on the table right next to the sausages that you brought. And it seems to like lean forward a bit. And even though it has no eyes, you perceive that it is somehow almost observing or sniffing even the food that you've brought.
Oh, hey, Bookfar, how's it going? Long
Uh,
time no see.
it like falls onto its back and its pages just kind of flip back and forth. You see like strange arcane drawings on the inside, but it just seems to be saying hello.
Cute. Yeah, so let's make some pizza. Let's chat a little bit about like the goings on of the world and whatnot, right? Make nice.
Yeah, make a I'll say intelligence or sleight of hand check to cook with Ulfenric.
Okay. And if it doesn't work, I'll just performance of creation. Um intelligence or sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Cooking is not your strong suit. In fact, you've come to rely upon your creation magic so wholeheartedly that you've
It's
neglected
really
your ability
bad.
to do this sort of thing. You try to make pizza, but once you get the dough made and everything, like it's just not rising. And Old Finnick looks a little disappointed that it's going so poorly.
I'm like, all right, let's just I thought that was gonna be fun, but this is not working. I'm gonna just like performance of creation a pizza and then put the toppings on top of it.
Great. Yeah, you just summon a pizza, and I have to use the summoned pizza token that I had previously made for this exact purpose.
Of course you have a summoned pizza token.
Well, if you recall, you did this before on the airship, and it was especially ideal. Anyway, so you summon a fully developed, freshly baked, steaming pizza, and toss on the spiced meats and vegetables and durian from Crystalia, and Ulfric
Durian.
says, "Yeah, sausage durian pizza. It's unique take."
Disgusting.
Ulfric says, "This looks amazing, sir. Thank you so much for coming to visit me. Bookvar, you want a slice?" Bookvar flaps into the air. There's a swirl of light, and then he plops down on the ground as in the form of the goat that you recognize from before. This goat-like creature, quite large. It walks over to the pizza and starts just ripping chunks out of it and like gulping down the steaming hot cheese and durian and sausage. The goat seems to enjoy the pizza. Do you
So
imbibe the pizza with
yeah, yeah,
all right.
obviously.
You enjoy this little meal as you sit there and chat. Ulfenric's still a little weird, and Bookfar is obviously very weird, but you do your best. Make a persuasion check to just to like set the mood.
23.
23, pretty good. Yeah, you feel like it's going well, and Bookfar has eaten half the pizza by himself so far. As you're having this conversation, just kind of taking it easy, you notice over Old Fenric's shoulder, up in the treetops, where the dappled summer sunlight comes down and is sort of illuminating the forest floor. Nasher is here as well. Gotta get Nasher. Uh, you notice something shift up in the treetops. You kind of focus your eyes. You see crawling down through the treetops this serpentine, glittering, greenish, lizard-like creature. And as you kind of like stare at it in confusion, its eyes lock onto you, and it seems to smile almost. It's very thin and lithe. You recognize a very small, greenish dragon that is currently descending from the treetops towards your group, eyeing your
Oh,
pizza.
oh my. I don't want to fight the greenish dragon, so I will tell Fenric and Bookvar that we have a guest, another friend,
Uh,
and then I will make a second very meaty pizza between us and the dragon.
okay. So you say we have a guest. The dragon stops and like glances around, and Ulfenric turns around and he says, "Oh, that's a problem." Uh,
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
uh, the dragon says in Draconic. Do you speak Draconic?
I do not. I
It
speak
says,
common, dwarfish, elvish, giant, and primordial, and telepathy.
and you can speak to Nasher because
I
Nasher is
can
a
speak
beast.
to Nasher because Nasher is a beast.
Okay. Nasher understands Draconic, so it says something in Draconic,
Translator?
and then Nasher looks at you, and you're like, "Nasher, what was that?" Nasher says, "It's not gonna be okay. He's gonna eat everything, including us."
Why would he tell me that? Okay. I'm like,
Uh,
all right, Fenric, never mind. Inside now.
Fenric's like, okay, I'll leave you to it. And he and Bookfar run inside, leaving behind the half-eaten pizza. As they run inside and slam the door, the greenish dragon lands down and hits the floor with the sunlight hitting it directly. It glints off of it. It's almost like stone-like in its appearance. You stare at it, and it's unlike any dragon you've seen depictions of before. And as you think of this, you think perhaps this is one of those new dragons, the kind that have been awakened. As you're like preparing, standing up and looking at this thing, it prowls into view. You hear rustling from behind you. You turn around. Coming out of the bushes behind you, a blue one, also reflective, covered in glittering gemstones on its body, comes into view, and they both begin to sort of come at you slowly, crawling forward from both directions in a pincher movement.
Shit.
I need to roll initiative.
I'm going to die here. 21.
21.
I'm not good at fighting by myself.
You got a 21. That's the top of the initiative. So before they have any time to react, you're jumping into action. What do you do?
Okay, my first question for you is, what's Nasher's stat block?
And Nasher's what?
Stat block.
I can make it available. It's under the characters.
Actors, mounts?
Yep. So he has 14 AC, 58 hit points. He can bite and use a tail attack.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to jump into action. I'm going to cast Draconic Transformation.
Oh, okay.
On myself.
Going for
Going hard. I'm going to tear open my shirt like Superman. Let the light of Atrexelon's face shine from my chest.
Okay.
As I grow wings and turn into a dragon.
All right. Dragon Sir burst forth into the sea.
Bitch!
Immediately, both dragons stop in their tracks and rear back in confusion as the pink light, this sort of channeled energy of Atrexelon comes bursting forth. Okay, that's your action.
I'm going to turn, so when I cast the spell, and then as a bonus action on subsequent turns, I can exhale my force damage energy in a 60-foot cone. So I'm going to whip to my right, and I'm going to exhale onto the blue dragon.
Blue dragon. Okay, you spin around, blasting out pinkish, purplish fire. What's the save?
Let's see. It is a dex save.
This is a 10 on its dex save.
It fails. So it takes 68.
Damn.
68 force damage.
31 force damage. Ouch. Yeah, this thing rears back in shock as it's blasted. It gets thrown against the base of a tree. Both of these dragons are relatively small. They're way smaller than any of the other ones you've ever fought. So it seems like they're fairly young, if you had to guess. Okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna move myself over, I can't move myself for some reason. I'm gonna move myself 20 feet back to try to not destroy this guy's house when I breathe next time. And to try to line them up,
Yeah,
as they come at me. Yeah, yeah, I think that's good enough.
Okay. Very well.
I'm also gonna tell Nasher to fuck off, and I'll take care of this.
Okay. Nasher whimpers and runs off behind the hut. All right. Okay. The sapphire dragon is going to get up, snarling, and you watch as it frantically digs a hole and burrows into the ground, disappearing from sight. Then, in a surprise attack, maybe 20 feet closer to you, its head bursts out of the ground and it rears back and spews fire, bright blue, neon blue fire up towards you.
Oh god.
Make a... this is a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 6.
6?
Yep.
You take 33 thunder damage.
God damn.
That's pretty high for this roll. And you're incapacitated until the start of your next turn.
That's very bad.
It ends its turn by burrowing back underground where you can't see it.
God.
The other one, as you sit there like reeling from this attack, it flaps off the ground, flaps up to you, gets a few feet away, and then it like opens its mouth, and you just hear this high-pitched like whining noise, like incredibly high, incredibly intense on the edge of hearing. Make an intelligence saving throw.
9.
9. Sir, you take 23 psychic damage.
Oh, shit.
And until the end of your next turn, when you make an attack roll or an ability check, you have to roll a d4 and subtract it from that. So it's got like a Bane.
Bane.
Bottom. But for the next turn. But you're incapacitated for your next turn anyway. So, okay. That's their turn. It's your turn. You're incapacitated. I believe you can still move.
I can't take actions or reactions. I could still move, so I will. Yeah, I'll do that. My screen went black.
Yeah, let me fix that. Let me fix this. It's because it's I changed the token and then that messed it up. And then this one has sight, vision, update token. Does that work?
Yeah. Well, now there's 2 of me, but yes.
Yeah, fixed it. Okay. There we go.
Okay. I'm going to. Oh shit! I was supposed to roll concentration on my dragon.
2 of them.
Damaged. Okay. First one was a nat 20 for 22.
I'm gonna that one is with disadvantage because we've come to the point when you have the d6 disadvantage thing. So roll that with disadvantage.
7.
Okay, so that's a failure.
So I no longer have dragon.
Yep.
So that means I'm not flying.
Yeah, you plop down to the ground.
All right. I'm just gonna use my movement to try to like get a little bit further away from the house.
Okay, you just
So,
kind of stagger
30.
back.
Kind of stagger back 30 feet.
Okay. We'll say you get to here, but you're like running away from it, trying to keep some distance. Okay, and that's your turn basically.
And that's all I can do.
All right, how you doing on health?
52.
All right.
They hit me real hard that first time.
Yeah, they both did dragon breath straight to your face. So as you go staggering away, mostly incapacitated, you shake off the psychic and the what was the other one? Constitution
Bane.
effects of these 2 attacks. Nasher peeks his head out from around the corner, looks at you, and is like, and kind of growls. You hear in your head like, "You good?"
I'm like, not really.
Okay, he roars and comes charging in to help. Let's see. He's gonna dash and just like get between you and this thing, like snarl
Oh god,
at
if
it.
Nasher dies, I'll never forgive myself.
Okay, that's his turn. He dashed. The sapphire dragon is gonna burrow and burst out of the ground right next to you, sir. And it's going to try and bite you. 24 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
So you take 4 piercing and 6 thunder damage.
So total of 10 damage, and I'm going to use my reaction to do some damage to him, which I can do with my gem dragon.
That's
Where is
right,
that?
your retaliation thing.
Yeah. Within 10 feet of you, use your reaction to force the creature to make a strength saving throw, DC 17. On a failure, they'll take 2d8 force damage and be pushed 10 feet.
It rolled a 17.
So it saves!
All right.
Half as much damage, so it still takes half of 2d8.
Okay.
Roll 2d8.
11.
5 damage.
5.
6 damage, depending on how you round.
Is it thunder?
Force.
Force. All right. Yeah. And then roll a d6 for me, because we're
No more
Back on that.
d6.
you're still cursed.
God damn it.
Excellent. Okay.
Oh god.
So yeah, it gets retaliated, but it dives back underground, burrowing away out of sight. The Emerald Dragon Wormling is going to snarl at Nasher and attack for a 24 to hit, dealing a total of 10 piercing and psychic damage. Nasher is starting to get a little hurt. Okay. Top of the round. Sir, you're up. You shake off the effects. You're back in it.
Okay, hold on. I need to think a little bit. I've used that. That was the most useful. These guys are small dragons. They're probably not very wise. So I kind of want to use a save or suck. However, if that fails, I have done nothing.
Yes.
So instead, what I'm going to do is summon a dancing object.
Okay.
It's within 30 feet of me, I believe. It's like pretty far.
Yeah.
So I can summon it right next to, 30 feet of me. So I can summon it right next to the green dragon, or as close, and then have it use its movement for the rest of it.
Yep.
So that's my action. As a bonus action, I will inspire Nasher.
Okay. Nasher
And
is
then-
inspired.
I'll have my dancing item take its attack
Okay.
on the green dragon.
I can do that. I've got it on here.
Yeah, that's useful. Thank you.
Okay, 21 to hit, which does for 13 force damage. It hits.
All right.
Thwack. Taking some damage. Okay, that's your turn.
That's my turn.
Nasher roars and bites and spins around and whips its tail at the creature. A 17 and a 15. 15 misses, 17 hits, dealing 4 piercing damage to it as he bites into its wing and shakes back and forth.
How much damage does the one that missed do?
The which one?
Wait, actually, hold on. Can you use inspiration? I have no idea how inspiration works, because I have to use it. You can use it on an attack roll.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking to have Natra use her inspiration,
Yeah.
but how hard does that attack hit?
5 damage.
Oh, okay, it's not worth it then. I'll use it
Okay.
for a saving throw.
Yep, she holds on to it. Okay. That's Nasher. And then the emerald, or the sapphire dragon, flies a little bit further away, pops their head back up out of the ground, looks around. Interesting. Roars again, now this time looking at Nasher and the dancing item, using its breath weapon. I'll make a con save for the dancing item and Nasher. It's a nat 20 on your dancing item, and a 10 from Nasher.
No!
They're going to do 30 thunder damage to both. So the dancing item's fine. Nasher's starting to look a little rough. 18 hit points left on Nasher. Okay. Then it's going to burrow back underground where you can't see it.
God damn it.
Okay. Emerald Dragon roars at Nasher. It's going to attack as well. 1 bite attack. 18 for 13 total, or 11 piercing and psychic damage to Nasher. Nasher's looking pretty hurt now at 7 hit points. And that's its turn. Sir, you're up.
Okay. Is it? How wet is the ground?
Not really wet. It's a nice warm summer day. There's grass and trees everywhere, but
Can I consider there to be some mud?
yeah, I would say yes, because this
Like
Sapphire
dirt.
Dragon has been burrowing and churning up the mud and dirt. It's mud.
Okay. Right where the Sapphire Dragon burrowed, I would like to cast Transmute Rock and turn
Alright.
the mud that it is in to rock.
Right. How big an area is that?
It is a 40-foot cube.
40-foot cube. Jeez. So, yeah. Let me check something. Okay, yeah. So you reach out and you turn this 40-foot patch of the earth in front of Fenric's hut into solid stone. Beneath the ground, you hear like a roar echo as this thing is now apparently stuck in like solid stone. For now, we'll get to that.
Yeah, it can try to break out or whatever. Yeah, so the ruling is a little bit murky because it says like if the creature is in the mud, it gets restrained by stone, but then that means like standing in the mud, not like encased in the mud. So I don't know how that works.
There's also features of this particular creature that you don't necessarily know about that are relevant here.
Oh shit! Ah shit!
Okay, so that was your action.
Action. Rule that I can't inspire my dancing item, right?
I don't think so, no. It's a creature, so maybe you can, but I don't think you can.
I think it's a creature, so maybe technically we can, but I think at some point you ruled that it was too annoying. So
yeah,
we were just like, no.
Just please don't. But in this case, you're solo, so you can if you want. I'm fine with that.
Okay, I'll inspire my dancing item as a bonus action. Actually, no, I have a better bonus action. I will turn invisible.
Okay. Bonus action. You turn invisible. Bonus action. Action.
So action, bonus action.
Movement.
That's it. That's all I can do.
You can go anywhere?
Oh, movement.
30 feet.
Can I climb on top of a rock to try to make it a little harder for the underground dragon to hit me?
Let's just say you just climb onto the rock right there that you're next to anyway. But you're 10 feet up off the ground.
Okay.
That's your turn. Nasher. Nasher is gonna keep attacking.
Nasher's gonna. I feel like Nasher should disengage and leave.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be something they can do. So disengage. Nasher backs away slowly and then turns and runs, preventing opportunity attack. Where do you want Nasher to go?
Like behind the hut, just like away.
Nasher can also burrow underground, by the way.
Fascinating.
20 feet. But yeah, Nasher can run 30 feet in the round. They use their action to disengage. They can just like run away. We'll say
I kind of just want her to not die.
Yeah, Nasher just runs towards you, seeking help, and that's her turn. Then you have your dancing item.
Dancing item is gonna go attack.
Attack.
Force empowered slam.
13 force damage to this creature.
Dancing item's the only one who can fucking do work.
All right. Okay, the Sapphire Dragon. It has a feature called Tunneler, which says it can burrow through solid rock at half its normal burrowing speed.
Of course it can.
Leaving a tunnel in its wake. So you watch as like the ground cracks and splinters, and then it bursts out of the floor. Used all of its movement, but it's now like crawls out onto the ground. It's out of the ground. That's its turn for movement. It's gonna look around. You can't see you. It sees its friend over there. It sees Nasher. It's gonna make a coin flip to attack either Nasher or the dancing item. That's the dancing item. Okay, so it flies over with advantage and it's gonna attack the dancing item. Wow, 14. I think that misses.
I think that misses.
Yeah. Okay. The Emerald Dragon gets its breath back. It's going to use its disorienting breath on the dancing item. Dancing item makes an intelligence saving throw, which is a 5. Yeah, so it takes 20 psychic damage. Wait, can it take psychic damage? It's immune
it might
to
be
psychic.
Immune. I think it's immune.
So this thing like shrieks at the dancing item and it just keeps dancing there happily. It's immune to psychic damage. It does have
doesn't have a brain.
It's baned for the next round, but that's it. Okay. Amazing. Sir.
All right.
You come back.
20 feet on one side. How far apart are these fuckers? Okay. My question for you is, it's very borderline. Looks like this guy's tail is outside of that range. But if I were to cast a 20 by 20 foot cube over those two, would they both be contained in that space?
Let me check. do my math here. 5. I forgot how the cubes worked. They're dumb.
20 foot on one side.
So, yeah. So it's 20 by 20 foot cube. Basically, it's 4 squares. Are you trying to trap them inside of it?
Yeah.
I would say no. You can definitely get one of them, but the other one's like halfway in, halfway out, so it just gets shunted out, I would say.
Okay. Hold on, let me finish reading that still. Yeah, they just get pushed. That's so bad. All right. I'm getting real desperate here. So I'm going to walk up to them. And I'm going to cast Thunderwave using the Tabor.
Okay. So you can get to here. That's 30 feet.
Yeah. And then it's 15 foot.
So you can hit the one of them.
God damn it. Okay, I'm not going to.
It's hard being
This is
solo.
so hard. This is so hard.
I have faith in you, sir.
Oh my god. Alright. Time to break the action economy. I'm going to conjure animals.
There we go. Okay, conjure animals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Roll a d8 for me.
Roll 1, D8.
And also, what level of your...
I want 4 beasts of challenge rating 1/2 or lower.
Okay. And you rolled a 3?
Mm-hmm.
3. 1/2 or lower. Alright. You get 4 black bears that come charging out of the woods.
Yes! Black bears!
And you can summon them wherever, right? Like
Yeah,
spot.
wherever I can see. So I'm gonna have them like right up in the
right
the
there.
face of the dragons. Yes.
4 smallish but like vicious black bears come charging out of the woods and into the fray. Now they have their own initiative. Is that correct?
Yeah, they get their own initiative as a group.
As a group, okay. So they have initiative 10, so they go after everyone else at the end of the initiative round. Okay. Sir, that's your action. You haven't moved.
I haven't moved. Me and Nasher are going to try to put some space between us and the dragons. So I'll move another 30 feet back and let the brown bears take care of it.
Okay. You charge away. Nasher is going to follow you. No problem. Disengaging or dodging as an action just to help not getting hit.
Yeah.
Okay, the sapphire dragon wormling turns and roars at the bears.
Oh, I'll go invisible again as a bonus action.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it's going to use... I'll have to roll for it. It does not get its breath back. It's going to do a bite attack on the first bear. 24 to hit for 17 damage. The first black bear is badly hurt. Still alive.
Poor black bear.
Okay. The emerald dragon is going to also make a bite attack. Hitting another one, dealing 13. They're hurt, but still alive. Okay. Black bear's turn.
Black bear turn. Do the
Right.
thing.
They have multi-attack for a first one against the sapphire one. So the sapphire has a 16 armor class, so it takes 5 piercing damage
Yes.
as the
Go,
black bear
black bears,
bites it.
Go.
Second black bear.
Go.
It's 2 hits. The second black bear that's looking pretty rough, they jump on top of it and like bite into the back of its neck and start ripping out chunks, and it roars, and then it collapses in a heap as the 2 black bears swarm on top of it.
I'm like, yes, black bears!
So the blue dragon is gone. The sapphire dragon is dead. The other 2 black bears gonna keep going. They're doing work. That's 1 hit for 5. The other one will go. Claws and bite. 1 hit for 8. The other 2 black bears jump on the other dragon and take it out, dealing adequate damage to kill it. In a matter of moments, the tide of battle has drastically shifted, and the swarm of black bears rush into battle and overwhelm your dragon foes. as these
Fucking started with those. Oh god, I run over to the black bears and I give them pets. I'm like, you're the best I can.
they grunt and headbutt you, and all is well as these two small dragons lie dead at your feet.
Jesus H Christ, that was way scarier than it usually is. Daenerys, I need you with me in my life.
You feel a newfound appreciation for your friends and the services they provide you
Oh
in their
man,
absence.
do the dragons disappear?
Yes. After a few moments, they begin to crumble into like chunks of rock that then crumble into sand and then just kind of whisk away into the breeze.
Henrik, it's safe to come out.
After a few moments, the door cracks open. Out walks Fenric with the goat, Bookfar, and they look at you and they're like, "Oh, those were some real scary creatures. You got some black bear friends, I see."
Yeah, they saved my butt. Good guys, them black bears.
They look over at Bookfar hungrily.
I'll offer them some pizza before I dismiss them.
The pizza has been pretty messed up. Is on the ground and got trampled by the dragons and burned by your fire force breath, whatever. But the black bears don't mind. They go and they eat the sausage off, and they trundle off into the woods before evaporating into mist.
God damn, that was scary.
Nasher's looking
All
pretty
right.
rough.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short rest, I think.
Sure. Go ahead and take a short rest. As Ulfenric runs inside and brings out some bandages to help fix up Nasher. Nasher is very stoic about the healing process, but seems brave enough to withstand the bandaging without complaining.
Poor baby. Nasher, you did so good. Thank you so much. I know you're out of shape and you didn't want to fight necessarily, but you saved my life.
Quite literally, I think if Nasher hadn't come back, you probably would have been overwhelmed.
I know, I was like, I got it. No, I don't got it.
I don't got it. All right. Yeah, so you get a short rest, you heal up. Nasher's feeling a little bit better as well.
All right.
So that being said, you talk with Ulfenric about these dragons that are now a problem in the world. He says, "Man, what is it with all these horrible monsters coming to my front door?"
Yeah, I feel like I might have something to do with that, unfortunately. They kind of tend to show up wherever I am.
Well, I'm sure it's not your fault. These things just happen. The world is a tough, dangerous place.
Well, it might not be my fault, but it is something that I'm trying to fix. And actually, that brings me to one of the reasons for my visit. I was hoping maybe Bookfar might be able to help me out with, there's a couple of steps removed, but eventually the quest is to try to put these dragons to rest.
Bookfar, you feeling helpful today? Bookfar, the goat, shudders and flash of light turns back into a book and flaps over to you, and perches on your shoulder like a bird would, but just kind of bouncing on the spine of the book, just sitting there.
Like, hey, I had a friend who called you the Leprechanomicon. Does that ring a bell?
Leprechaun-nomicon.
Leprechaun-nomicon.
It like weirdly like shudders when you say that word and flaps away from you and like flutters over to a tree and lands in a branch and just sits there.
I'm like, oh, you didn't like that. Okay. Well, that's okay. I was wondering if you might be able to help teleport me, actually, to visit an acquaintance. His name is Nivrag.
You say that, and Bookfar gets very still and just kind of sits there perched in the tree. Old Fenric is watching, and he's like, huh, he's usually a bit more lively.
I'm like, yeah, this guy's not the nicest guy. I'm wondering if maybe they have had bad experiences, the two of them.
Possibly. I don't really know what Bookfar did before I found him. I found him in the woods, just sitting under next to a river one day, and picked him up some 20 years ago, and he's been my good friend ever since. Well, I find that if he's feeling a little surly, it helps if you tell him something to lighten the mood. Got any jokes?
Like, maybe I don't actually know any jokes. I wish I did. There was that one about the hollow who couldn't cross the road.
Make a performance check with disadvantage.
Christine doesn't know any jokes.
That's fair.
25.
25. It's a bad joke, like objectively bad. But Bookvar kind of like you see it like jiggle a couple times, and then it flaps back over to you and like lands on the ground. And the flash of light turns back into a goat, and looks at you and goes, "Brat." What languages do you speak again?
Not goat.
This isn't goat. This is something else.
Common, dwarvish, elvish, giant, primordial, and telepathy.
Yeah, none of the above. It says it baz once, and you're like, that sounds like a goat, but you can't understand it. And then it begins to like mutter under its breath, in definitely like a language, but you don't speak it. Yeah, I'll say you've seen it enough times. You heard it before. It's Sylvan or some variety of it, and it mutters to itself for a little bit, looks at you and says, "Nifrag."
Yeah, that's him.
And like headbutts you to like push you away. You step back along with Nasher and your floating magic item. Old Fenric steps to the side, and the Bookvar kind of steps out in the middle of the clearing onto this patch of stone that you've created outside of his hut. And he begins to trot in a small circle, and he starts to like goes into a run and sprints in a circle faster and faster, and begins to speed up. And this scintillating light begins to glow off of his goat body, and as he spins faster and faster, he just turns into a blur of like kaleidoscope light spinning in space, and you see the floor begin to glow, and this large luminescent teleportation circle, if you will, appears in the space, glowing there, now stationary on the ground, gently flowing like prismatic light shifting off of it. It's there in front of you.
Like, Bookvar, you're amazing. Thank you. I turn to Nasher and I'm like, I think maybe you should sit this one out. You saved my life once. I don't want to have to ask you to do it again.
Nasher nods her head and goes over and sits down next to old Fenric, who reaches out and tentatively pats her on the head.
Like, yeah, you guys are gonna be fine. I'll be back soon. I'll close my eyes and I'll step into the circle.
All right, you step forth and run into the circle, entering the swirling vortex of light, and are teleported away to a different realm.
I'm scared.
Do you see Nevrag specifically? As you flash through the swirl of colors, you experience a series of strange, like, sensory things. You've teleported before, you've been on the river Styx, but each flavor of it is a little bit different. Here, in this light, you're surrounded by, like, giggles and laughter and, like, rainbow scintillating light and strange mumbling speech. It's all very strange and unnerving. But suddenly it goes dark, and you land, sinking up to your knees in, like, thick, boggy bilge water. You're standing in a swamp, if you will, as you glance around quickly. There is a heavy fog kind of lingering over the area around you, and the smell coming off of it too is rancid, like death, rotting, peat moss, and corpses. You take all this in. You can see about 150 feet away there is a source of light. It's very faintly glimmering, this kind of light coming through the thatched walls of a small hut that's far away. You notice, however, that the light all around you is very dim, and there seems to be, as you look at your hand, there's no hue to your hand. The fur of your normally bluish hand is just grayscale, as is everything around you. Take all this in.
Is this like, so on the river Styx, I think we passed through the like Shadowfell-ish region.
This is exactly like that.
Okay, so it's familiar at least.
You've experienced these kinds of effects before. It does seem Shadowfell-like. And as you kind of pull one foot out of the dirt and muck around you, you hear a voice mutter something at you nearby. You glance over. Squatting on top of a rock, a little man about the size of a gnome with a red hat. It would be red. You can tell it's supposed to be red, but again, these like shades of gray. And holding this wicked, like rusty sickle in one hand, is squatting there. He has these big, thick iron boots on, and he's like staring at you with these little beady, glowing eyes. He says, again, something in a language you don't understand.
Something Sylvan. I want to ask him if he speaks common.
Make a persuasion check.
35.
It's 18. Misfortune point. Roll again.
24.
No, not good enough. He does not speak common. DC was 25. He looks
Gotcha.
at you and mutters again, and you're like, "You speak common?" He goes, "Eh, ah!" Just screeches. You watch as the muck begins to bubble around you, and popping up out of the swamp are these two dark hooded figures holding little daggers that are like pop out of the mud and come wading at the mud towards you. They run across the surface of the water like it's nothing. This dude squatting on top of the rock, he leaps unnaturally far, flying 30 feet across through the air and like landing in the muck next to you and charges at you. Roll initiative.
God damn. I cannot take on 3 at once. 22, though.
Okay. You do have your dancing item with you.
Oh, okay, yeah, so I brought that.
It's a little damaged, but it came with. Okay. So, sir, what's your initiative?
22.
22, again, nice and high.
Yeah, I fucking need it.
Okay, as they come charging at you in the bog, you go first.
Okay, I need to pee. No,
Okay, do
consider
that.
what
Wait
is
some water,
about to
too.
happen.
All right. All right. So you go first, sir.
Where you weigh 20 feet. Okay. First things first. I am going to cast Force Cage
All right.
on the two, whatever these guys are. The two guys that are closer together to each other.
Yeah. You can get both in there. These two little hooded dudes with daggers in the swamp, as they run across the water towards you, you're like, ah, shit. You throw out a cage of force that covers them both, and they bonk into it and are trapped. Okay?
All right. Bonus action. Go invisible.
All right. You go invisible. I like that you're making use of this ability that like rarely came up previously to now, but
Yeah, it
kind of
hasn't been an
important.
issue because I'm always backlining, so I never have to be invisible.
do you move at all?
One moment. I will. Yeah, I will move back to just like put some distance between me and the guy who's not trapped.
Sounds good. Okay. You can talk to Josh if you want. I'll have.
He was just like,
dancing
"Do you
guy.
want food?" Yeah, I want a snack. Tostitos.
Excellent choice.
Salmon burgers. That's healthy. What junk food? All right.
The force-empowered slam from the dancing item is going to come in and do 16 force damage to the dude with the sickle.
Do work.
Okay. His turn. He... It's squinting at you. Dark vision. Now, you're invisible, but you're also running through, like, knee-deep swamp and, like, splashing with big footprints, so, like, he has an idea of where you are. It's not perfect.
Not stealthy, yeah.
He's going to charge at you and try to attack you anyway, and it will be disadvantage on all his attacks, but he's going to try to do it. He jumps into the air, flying towards you with, like, both his iron boots in front of him, like a pro wrestling move. Make a dexterity saving throw.
19.
19. Yeah, he misses. You just like see it coming and duck, and he misjudges because you're invisible, and flies past you and lands in the swamp. Snarling, he whips around and makes 3 sickle attacks.
Bam.
With disadvantage on all of them because you're still invisible. 8, 13, and 18.
Nope. Oh, 18 hits.
The last one hits. You take 7 slashing damage. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Got fucking poison weapons or what? 5.
5. So you only take 7 slashing damage, but you feel something entering your bloodstream from the rusty sickle.
Bad. Okay.
Okay.
I'm worried for my life. I'm gonna go straight for the big guns. I'm using.
Now, hold up.
Go ahead. Oh, it's not my turn. What am I doing?
The other dudes that are stuck inside your force cage. Yeah. Can they teleport out?
They have to make a save to do it.
That's right. It's force cage, so they're stuck.
Yeah. Can't leave it by non-magical means. If a creature tries to use teleportation or interplanar travel to leave the cage, it must first make a charisma saving throw. On the success, the creature can use that magic to exit. On a failure, the creature can't exit the cage and wastes the spell or effect.
Yeah. No, they are both definitely stuck inside that thing. They can't teleport out anyway, so they're just stuck. They are banging their daggers on the inside of the force cage.
Stay there.
Is it concentration or it's not? I don't think it is, right?
It's not. That's what it's like. Yeah, It's big power move.
Nice. Okay, sir, you come back from invisibility. The dude with the sickle's right next to you. He snarls at you. Your turn.
Immediately pulling out my big guns, I'm gonna use the spore to cast Psychic Lance.
Okay. What's the saving throw?
Intelligence.
3.
Hard fail. So he's gonna take 7d6 psychic damage. 7d6. And he is incapacitated next turn.
25?
Yeah, 25
Wow.
damage.
You watch as he's glaring at you, wielding his sickle. His head jerks back, blood squirts out of his nose, and his eyes start to bleed. He sits there like, "Ugh." Yeah, he's not doing anything.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. And then I'll bonus action invisible because I can.
Yeah, got a lot of those now. Dancing item can come in.
Dancing item can come in.
18 to hit, 13 force damage. As he's sitting there like, this spear comes flying in from behind and just impales him straight through the chest and goes, and just like spews everywhere and collapses in the swamp. You killed him.
Jesus Christ.
That's
why that's the big gun. Nice.
With that,
okay, so the Darklings are just sitting in the cage.
yeah, they're just like silently like muffled yelling, hitting the inside of the cage, trying to get out, but they're stuck.
Do I get the sense that these guys like wanted something from me, or are they just like evil?
They probably just here to like mug people in the swamp and Shadowfell. Like they're just evil monsters, best you can tell.
All right, I won't bother like questioning them. Like, all right, you guys just stay there. The force cage is gonna last. let's see, 1 hour, by which time I will be far away from here. I'm debating just murdering them, but that seems cold.
Seems overkill.
Quite literally. All right. Let's just leave them in their little cage.
You walk off. You notice that where you appeared, there is a small, like, flickering, prismatic bit of energy on the ground in the swamp, like right behind where you appeared here. You get the sense if you do want to leave, that would be the place to return to.
Oh, in which case I feel like I should kind of kill them, because like they're still gonna be here when I come back. Debating how evil to be. I mean, they tried to kill me for absolutely no good reason. Kind of. All right, I'll leave them alive. Oh, God, conscience. Stupid
right.
conscience.
So you leave them behind in the force cage as they are stuck there trying to get out. What do you do?
I'm gonna walk towards that hut. Seems the most promising place.
All right. You walk towards the hut. It is dark, slow, muddy going, and you have to wade through knee-high mud to get there. But eventually you kind of get towards dry ground. You get out, you cross a small, like, you look left and right, it seems like some kind of trail, and then you approach this small thatched, faintly glowing hut. You see there's a door. There's no windows. It's just like a cube structure with a door in it and light coming through the cracks in it.
I'll knock and kind of politely, Nifrag, it's Sir. I've come to pay a visit.
You do that and knock and announce yourself. You hear a voice come from inside, a kind of low, hissing voice, which you recognize from the shadowy caverns beneath Aracrest. It says, "But I'm not done collecting yet."
Well, that's actually what I'm here about. You see, can we chat for a little bit?
Sure. The door opens. Despite the fact that there's light coming from the cracks, the door opens and you see a shadowy nothing inside the doorway, like some kind of
Weird
abyss.
void.
Do you step through?
I step through.
You step through the darkness and fall. You are falling for about 10 seconds before you feel yourself slowing and like gingerly coming to a rest on a flat surface in complete darkness.
I was screaming that whole time.
When you land, faintly light begins to filter in, and you see like a kind of like desolate, rocky terrain stretching in every direction around you, similar to the swamp, just like foggy and murky, but really nothing of note. Besides a singular figure standing about 15 feet ahead of you on top of a small outcropping, robed, hooded, mostly difficult to see, but as you're squinting at them, you see a light flare up, a small bit of firelight that glows a bright orange in this otherwise grayscale space. It reaches up to the face and lights a small cigarette, which you watch as the individual pulls deep on it. You see their face for the first time. It is the same dwarf that you saw in Ingvar's tent in Crystallia, but looks much older, and instead of two eyes, there's only one. You see a sunken dark socket missing an eye on the right and a glowing cat-like eye on the left. That eye is locked on you as it pulls a drag from the cigarette and then exhales in your direction. They are a splash of color in this otherwise colorless environment, starkly at odds. Their purple robes and white beard standing out. I have art.
Nice.
So they say, so you've come about your debt.
I have.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, I actually talked to Ingvar. He sent me here. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, he's a little difficult to work with sometimes. He's hard to predict. Me, on the other hand, I know what I want. And I've been getting it from you. I've been quite enjoying observing and absorbing your difficulties over the journeys. I could sense you have some really pent up energy right at this moment as well. What is it that you're trying to do? What offer do you have as a potential way to get out of this deal that we have, this currently very beneficial for me arrangement?
Well, that's a really good question, because really what it means is I need to know more about what it is that you want. As in any good relationship, both sides understand the wants and desires of the other. I think you understand my wants and desires, but I don't really know anything about yours.
Well, you've come all this way. I'll give you a straight shot answer on what I want. I want to watch you suffer. I want to watch you fail and fall at everything you do. I find it deeply entertaining, and it brings me energy and life as I sit here. I enjoy this for everyone that I interact with. Everyone I watch. When the child falls and breaks a tooth on the concrete, I giggle. When an old woman pours some hot soup into a bowl but splashes it on the newborn, I laugh. This is my purview, my area of expertise. I really just enjoy watching the mortals faff about and fail and accidentally harm those they care about. It's deeply entertaining to me.
So what I'm hearing is that what you like is to witness suffering.
Not quite. It's not the suffering I like. It's the frustration that the suffering is usually coming from. It's the stroke of bad luck that just seems to haunt people as they go through their lives. I don't care so much about suffering, but I do care about misfortune. It's sort of my area of expertise.
What if I told you that there was a way that you could witness misfortune in a way that was much more potent, because it was much more meaningful, and also more frequent than you currently do?
I'm listening.
Well, you see, I am a storyteller. And what I am best at is learning and retelling the stories of heroes past in all of their gory detail. I happen to know many stories of people throughout the ages, including all of those who have dreadfully failed in their tasks. I think you could get a lot of pleasure and a lot of meaning out of witnessing their story, hearing their stories and living through their stories. People that actually did engage with those misfortunes. And I could help you to see those.
Are you proposing a performance for me to entertain me with the tales of those who've come before and their various misfortunes? Is this what you're offering to do?
I am. And maybe if that's, insufficient, we could come up with a way to do that more frequently.
I'm listening. Let's see. Give me a performance. Give me your best shot. And I'll be listening. And let's see if you can tell me a story and make it even more entertaining than it usually is when I watch from my perch here. You kind of glance over his shoulder and you see that, expanse far beyond. You do see weird, glimpses through the fog of, people, going about their daily lives and businesses. You see people, tripping downstairs and falling and rolling and breaking their legs. You see, people, leaving the stove on and their house burns down. Just stuff like that over and over again, kind of glimpses of it beyond this Nivrag's realm. But...
okay. I'm going to cast Glibness.
Very well.
And then I will proceed to tell him a story to the best of my little bard ability. And it's going to be about I don't know exactly which hero of ages past, and it like really build up their character and make them like this person who seems like they can't fail and they're just so strong and infallible, right? They're like confident, everyone loves them, whatnot. And then basically as the story comes into its like climax and what's the word? Follow through. Resolution.
Conclusion. Yeah.
Um this poor hero just starts like everything turns on him. Everything starts going wrong. Everywhere he looks, it starts small. He's tripping, he's falling, he breaks his leg, he loses a hand, he whatever. It's just like things start like escalating as things get worse and worse and worse for him until he finally decides that whatever he needs to slay this dragon. And so he goes searching for the dragon as more and more things go wrong. And the resolution is that he dies in the fiery breath of the just like tragic end to this hero who was once so powerful and has come to nothing.
Okay. Make a performance check with double disadvantage for me as I use the last misfortune point, and you've accumulated misfortune in coming here.
Double disadvantage, so 3 times?
Yeah, 3d20, keep lowest. And then you have glibness active, which...
Right, which means I can't roll less than a 15.
which is probably going to matter. Yeah. So, regardless, 15 beats all 3 of those rolls anyway. In spite of the power of this entity in front of you, the dark, foreboding, unfortunate realm that you find yourself in, and the bad luck you've been carrying with you this whole way, in spite of all of that, with your skill, your magical ability to channel all of that into this performance, to tell this tale of woe, it is one of your greatest performances that you've ever given in your life. And as Nivrag sits there listening, arms crossed, a scowl on his face as you tell this wonderful hero and all of his achievements in life, and then you begin to detail his descent into failure, as first it's a stubbed toe, then it's a finger he loses while sharpening his sword, then his hand gets chopped off, then his lover leaves him, and then he dies in a burning inferno when a dragon, he trips straight into the dragon's breath and dies. And you end with a flourish and a bow and a few beats of the drum. As Nivrag stands there scowling at you, you look back and meet him in his one eye. The scowl slowly turns into a smile, and as he smiles, it gets wider and wider and seems to creep up the sides of his face. You see far too many teeth. They are not dwarven teeth, they're sharpened, feral animal teeth that don't belong on a face like that. As his grin sits there on his face, he says, that was truly unfortunate and deeply entertaining. You are correct. If only this hero were real, I would have loved to watch his life crumble around him. But, storytelling aside, well done. Well done. Few make it to my place and leave unscathed. Well, I am thankful to this offer you have given me. I accept it. For you to truly be rid of this burden that has been placed upon you, you'll have to see my other half for a full absolution. I accept your offering, and I'd like to receive offerings from you in the future, if you wouldn't mind. Similar to this, just at a tavern, now and then, just tell a tale or two and know that I'll be watching.
Should I like say your name before that to, draw your attention? Or...
I'll be watching.
Okay. I'll make sure to do that. Thank you for your time and for your attention. It's always lovely to have a lovely audience.
The massive grin slowly shrinks back and is like covered by the mustache and beard and goes back to a normal dwarven face, and he says, well, I have many misfortunes to look upon. If you're done here, be gone. Go visit my other half.
Very good. You mean Ingvar, right?
Vagnir.
Where can I find him?
The Feywild. Same place, but there versus here.
Oh, good lord. Any chance you can send me there?
I could, but that's too easy. I like to see you struggle.
All right. Thanks very much.
He turns his back on you, looks back over this display of suffering, and you take a step back, find yourself falling upwards, and you go jettisoned out of this hut, landing face first in the mud outside. You hear a chuckle echo from the doorway as you stand up and shake off the mud, and the door slams shut behind you.
Sitting there cursing to myself, softly. Fucking God, it's fucking luck and misfortune, say wild bullshit. Just walking back to the portal.
You see that the force gauge is still there, and the Darklings get up from the ground as you approach, and they're pantomiming frantically.
I'm gonna say in common to them, you guys can't send me to the Feywild, right?
Look at each other, look at you, and they just shrug.
I'm like, all right, see you later. I'll walk through the portal.
They're like, ah! You walk through the portal. It opens up as you approach, the same prismatic light. You step through and find yourself once again back at Old Fenric's hut.
I'm like, oh, Old Fenric, you'll never believe the journey I just had.
He gets up, and it looks like it's been maybe a few minutes. He says oh, that was quick, sir. Are you all right? What happened? Tell me all about it.
Got attacked. I had to tell this evil guy some misfortunate stories, and he actually did what I needed him to do, though, so that was good. But now I need to go to the Feywild, the same spot, Feywild.
The rainbow light stops, and the spinning circle comes back, and there's now a glowing goat. He cocks his head at you and goes bah!
Bookvar, is that something you can help me with?
Bah!
Is that an affirmative bat or a negative bat? I'm like, oh man, thank you. I'd be ever so grateful.
He starts spinning and running in the opposite direction, and the magic circle reappears once again, but with a slightly different sequence. Glowing. You see Old Fenric shrug and look at at Nasher back at you and say, okay, well, good luck.
Let's do a short rest before we go.
Sure.
I kind of skipped over that.
Go ahead, take a short rest.
All right. And we'll step through.
Okay. You step through. Once again, the sound, the unnerving sounds of giggles and cackling noises, flashing lights, roast meat, and toast. It's weird. There's a lot happening all at once. And you land on a cushy, weirdly springy mat of grass. It's almost like a trampoline. It seems to give back and push you back up as you arrive.
Oh, this is much nicer than the last place.
All around you, there is rainbow color vomit is what I would describe it as here. Give me a second. I'm looking for the right. No, that's not what I want. That'll do. Oh no. Care too much about the ambiance. They're also ominous. I want something whimsical.
Color vomit.
We'll go with this. Okay. As you appear here, you take in your surroundings. You see pools of green water / liquid, massive trees that kind of grow up out of the ground, and the grass beneath your feet is a pinkish maroon color, a vibrant scattering of light. Directly ahead of you, you see a small mountain protruding up out of the space. It's made out of giant, a pink and blue stone, and nestled atop of it, you see a small collection of buildings that have a warm and inviting glow emanating from within them, and smoke coming out of a smokestack. You take all this in.
Oh, this is so nice. Let's just go straight there.
All right. You begin to stride across the springy ground, and you notice that it's actually moving, the mountain in front of you. You kind of take it in and look at it closely. Look up at the front. You can see massive, almost tree-sized stalks slowly moving. As you stop and take it in, it is a gargantuan snail, and on top of it, this small hut is perched. This massive behemoth snail is sliding along this road, carrying it with it as you now gaze upon it.
Like, oh. Can I try to talk to the snail?
Yes. 1 second. There we go. You see this gigantic snail with a house on its back. You walk across the grass and approach it. You watch one of the eye stalks like pivots around and slowly turns and looks at you, one large glassy eye peering down at you.
I want to be like, hey, good sir, mind if I climb onto your back?
Persuasion check. Also roll a d6. You're still cursed.
4.
Okay. How long does glibness last?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it lasts an hour. Yeah, 1 hour.
I would say you have about 15 minutes left of that with a short rest and travel.
All right. I'll take that. Rolled a 15, so it doesn't matter. 32.
Yeah, 32. You see near the front of this thing's head, this tiny little hole opens up, and you hear Sylvan come burbling out. You sadly cannot speak Sylvan, so you're like, well, it seems friendly enough. It's not going to attack you or anything.
I'm like, all right, I'll take that as yes. Thanks, friend.
You do notice there is a ladder hanging off the side of this structure, down the side of its shell, that you can climb up on.
Grab it, kind of wavy, work my way up it unsteadily.
Sure. Make an athletics check as you climb.
Oh, God. I've never made so many checks for you.
Of these varieties as well.
10.
10. You get halfway up, and then your hand slips on some snail slime, and you fall down. You take 15 bludgeoning damage as you land hard on the ground. But then, weirdly, you like compress, and it goes and like springs you back. You go flying back up into the air. Make a dexterity saving throw to grab back onto the rope before you fall again.
All right, 23.
23. You frantically grab in the air and grab onto one of the rungs, catch yourself. You are back on the rope, about halfway up. Make another athletics check to climb the rest of the way up.
We're back on the rope. 22.
22. Good enough. You get up to the top. You're now on this like ramshackle wooden structure. You can see there are 2 buildings here, one with smoke coming out of a smokestack, another one that seems to be maybe like a warehouse, and then there's like an additional platform in the center up to the very top of the shell that has like a little flag fluttering there and like a big sofa. It all looks very cozy and rustic and whimsical. What are you doing?
I don't see anyone around.
No. You kind of glance left and right. There's nobody here outside.
Well, I don't want to like be annoying, so wait. Oh, sorry. I think I misunderstood your description. There's also like a little hut. So there's like a sofa and a cozy spot, and then like next to it there's a hut.
It's exactly what you see in the picture. So like there's the little central platform, and then 2 buildings on the left and right.
Okay, I'll go knock on the closest building and be like, "Fardig, Nivrak sent me. I'm supposed to talk to you."
You knock. The door swings open, and you see through it a pleasant-looking jungle clearing inside this stone hut. And leaning down and looking out through the door, you see a very large, glowing cat eye about the size of a dinner plate, in a purplish, furry face, kind of looking around it. It looks through and says, "Oh, Nivrag sent you, did he? My other half. What does he want?"
Well, we had a deal, me and him. He was witnessing and causing some misfortune, but then I gave him a better offer, and so he accepted it. But then he said to come to you to fulfill that promise.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, sure. come on in. Let's talk about it. Would you like a scone? And a plate
I
comes down
love one.
and offers a silver tray covered in like perfectly cooked blueberry scones. At least you think they're blueberry.
Like, oh yeah, man, this adventuring thing it's really hard. I love that. Good pick me up.
You step through the door, and yeah, on the inside, you're standing down on the far side of like a portal. It's just a stone archway with a wooden door in it. You look back through and you see the scene out behind you, but in this space, you're in the middle of like a clearing in a forest. Standing in front of you, offering you this large plate covered in scones, is a very large creature. It is a cat. That's the best way you can describe it, with purple fur, glowing yellow eyes, and 6 legs instead of 4. It's sitting there holding this out with like weirdly dexterous paws. As it smiles at you, you see far, far too many teeth, very sharpened, and its grin is almost unearthly. It says, "Welcome, sir. I'm Wagner. A pleasure to meet you, make your acquaintance." And give me a second.
Pleasure is all mine. I'm like trying to keep a straight face. Fucking demon Cheshire cat. Jeez.
It says, so, Nivrag sent you, and he seemed to accept your offering. That's impressive. He tends not to like to deal with mortals, give concessions. He likes to make people suffer. What would you say was, how did you know to reach him? Like, how did you know that would be enough?
Oh, well, I didn't know it would be enough, but I'm kind of a people person. I tend to understand what people are looking for. So I just kind of had an impression that was something that he might enjoy.
I see. Well, that was very insightful of you. You've done a wonderful job. I'm glad you're here. I don't really get many visitors either. I thought that you've had a rough time of it recently, and that was more Nivrag's purview than mine, but I thought I could, maybe just help you out this time around and keep things a little easy. How do you feel about that?
Sounds fantastic. Thank you so much.
No problem. So here's my offer. If you want to seal the deal and rid yourself of Nivrag's obligation. I would like just 1 hour of your time.
All right, that sounds doable. Yeah, okay.
Great. He reaches out a paw towards you and says, "Shake on it."
Wait, what am I doing during that hour? You just want to chat?
It's specifics. Just an hour.
I mean, okay, yeah, all right.
Great.
He
shakes your hand. You feel something like warm, like flood over you, and he says, "Excellent." Smiles a big toothy grin. He says, "Thank you. I look forward to enjoying that hour. Would you like some additional food? I've got a whole buffet." He waves a hand, and growing up from the ground, a table appears covered in crumpets, scones, freshly baked desserts, pie, some fresh fruit chopped perfectly. Very hospitable.
Yeah, that looks delicious. Okay.
Yeah, he chats with you. He's very chatty. This Wagner, he has a lot to say about just how nice it is to have visitors. He really is happy that he can host and just provide you with a good time. And as you are eating some of these delicious pastries and desserts, you can see now and then between the trees nearby there are shimmering after images similar to what you saw with Nivrag, of people going about their lives, and someone's walking, they look down, they see a platinum on the side of the street, and they pick it up and they look around, they run home to give to their ailing grandma who use it to buy food. You see someone else walking down the street, they bump into someone and they're like, "How dare you!" And then they lock eyes and they're like, "Oh," and they just fall in love instantly. And there's all these other moments, these small moments of good fortune, of luck and well-being of the mortal realm, and Nivrag seems to be observing it, Wagner seems to be observing it from his location in this forest. He's very hospitable.
Oh, this is such a great time. He's such a gracious host. I wish I could just, spend more time here.
Well, you totally could. I wouldn't stop you. But if you do, you gotta, there's gotta have some exchange every time. That's just how these things go. But I gave you a good offer, and I'm sure it'll be a really nice time that hour.
Like, all right, I'll see you again soon then.
Yeah, sooner than later. But that's all I have. After you guys chat for a while, and he says, come back anytime if you can, and be safe out there. You got my approval. Nivrag already gave his, so I think you're good. I think our mutual debt is taken care of.
Okay, so I don't have to go back to Ingvar. Like nothing else to do there.
No. I mean, you like I said, it was more so that was you paid Ingvar. He was content with the cash, but then needed a bit more, so that was more of like an exchange, and that was definitely Nivrag's purview. So he's satisfied as long as you keep your end of the bargain with him. We'll be good, and I'll keep our end of our bargain here later, and we're good.
Like, all right, well, thanks very much. I'll see myself out. That was easy.
All right. Hey, easy is what I do. Making life good and easy for everyone. You
thinking to myself, why do you look so evil then?
You walk out and exit the portal. Are you leaving?
Yeah, I'll head back to the portal.
Right. You head back to the portal. You step out on the giant snail, and you can see that the snail has actually made quite a distance away from your entry point. You kind of run to the railing and look back. You don't see the rainbow portal behind you.
Like because it's too far, or because it's gone?
Too far. You've gone down this path a good ways.
Like, shoot. Okay, gotta go. I jump off the snail.
You see the eye appear through the portal. It's like, oh, that's kind of unfortunate. I'm not a big fan of that. Here, oh, what's that? And you look over, you see a unicorn comes prancing out of the woods, shakes its mane, and looks at you, and it says, "Hello, do you require transport?" He says, "Climb on."
I'll awkwardly climb on.
You see the eye from the door shouts down at you. It says, "Now that's fortunate. Have a great day, sir." And the door slams. The unicorn goes galloping away from the snail back up the road the way you came.
Hair blowing in the wind.
Yeah. And about
Sir feels like a fairy princess.
Maybe 30 seconds later, you skid to a stop and you see the rainbow portal off to your right, away from this location.
Well, thanks so much. Can I get you a treat or something? Do you like
No
treats?
need. I'm here to help people and make lives better. Consider this a gift. And he licks the side of your face once and then gallops off majestically into the woods.
Thank you, magical unicorn.
I'm standing at the portal. Okay, you step through.
Step on in.
Returning back to Old Fenric's hut, you plop out onto the grass, and you do notice that it's a different time of day. It appears to be late evening, maybe after the sun has set in the summer. Nashor and Old Fenric are nowhere to be seen.
I'll knock on their door to see if they're home.
You knock on the door, and the door cracks open. You see Old Fenric. He says, "Oh, sir, there you are. Thank goodness." You hear the portal disappear behind you, and the goat reappears. He says, "It's been..."
How long has it been? Yeah.
It's been 3.5 days. That was quite a trip. You all right?
Oh, really? It was only an hour for me.
Oh, well, that's how these things go sometimes.
But yeah, I think that went rather well, actually. Surprisingly so. I think my problem is resolved. How do I feel?
You kind of scan yourself. That sort of brooding darkness that's been following you has been lifted. The curse of bad luck that you've been with for quite a while now is gone. You've successfully placated Nivrag's curse and gained the approval of both of his halves, if you will.
All right. Well, I think that calls for a celebration.
I don't see why not. The goat this flash of light, the Bookvar flaps over to old Fenric, and he says, "Yeah, well, I'm glad that we could help you out here, sir. What kind of celebration you thinking? Also, what time do you have to get back?"
Well, we said like 5 days, so I guess we're already late.
Yes, you're already half a day past your 5-day window.
Well, we're already half a day, so what's another hour? Let's have some food.
Sure. What food you thinking of? I've got some harvested mushrooms I picked yesterday, and Nasher and I hunted a rabbit.
Well, that'll be good for substance. Let's see if we can make it taste better with magic. We'll do some like honey glazed rabbit and some sauteed mushrooms on the side.
You summon 15 cubic feet of honey out in the backyard and just like scoop a teaspoon of it out of it and drizzle it on top of your rabbit and make some delicious food. This flood of honey. Anyway, you have a tasty rustic meal with old Fenric and Bookvar, Nasher, and yourself. About bedtime, you get a sending in your head from Zephyr. It says, "All right, sir, we're checking in again. You've been silent for several days. If you're here, let us know, and we'll come get you." And then you reply,
"Old Fenric's house."
Oh, you get another sending. "Oh, okay, there you are. Old Fenric, what the hell are you doing back there?"
"Long story, I'll meet you in Greymore."
"Okay, what time?"
"In 2 days."
2 days? Okay, travel safe. We'll be there at nighttime in 2 days at the teleportation circle.
Alright. Very good.
You stay overnight at old Fenric's. He has a very rustic cot for you to sleep in, but you take your long rest, your much needed long rest, and in the morning you say your goodbyes and mount up on Nasher, heading back to Greymore, I assume.
Heading back to Greymore, and while I go composing some epic tales of misfortune
for future telling in a tavern somewhere. You return to Greymore, and at the appointed time, Kaz appears. You once again are confronted with the angry gargoyle who questions why you're here and where you're going. But through some smooth talking, you evade any particular issue. You returned to Drakengard with the rest of your party, who've all reconvened after their adventures, and you feel much lighter than you started. Confused, not necessarily more informed, but definitely lighter.
And lighter because of the lifted curse, and also lighter because of my time with Brothers of Heronius.
Exactly.
Made some good Bookvar friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time, all things considering.
As you go to bed that night, and finally happy to see your friends again, ready to move towards what comes next, you glance through the window of the airship, and you do see a distant clock tower tick over and announce the starting of a new hour. And you wonder what Vagnir meant, or what that hour is and what that might mean. But for now, that's a future question. You don't have answers yet.
Interesting. And I turn invisible at 10 o'clock and panic.
Of course, and then panic for a bit, and then go to sleep. All right, that's it. That's the one shot.
That was a good time. Man, that's so fucking scary to fight alone.
Uh-huh. Well, you even then you had you had 6 like minions by the end of it, but it was still kind of like fighting alone.
Yeah, well, like you have 6 minions because otherwise you would die.
Right. If they're focusing all on you, you go down real quick.
So fast.
You're neither tanky nor good at saving throws, nor have a lot of health. So like, you're not going to last long. And you had bad luck on everything through that whole encounter. I was waiting to use it, but it didn't really come up much.
Because it was just bad to begin with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was rough. But then anytime you need to convince someone of something, like, no problem. That's
right.
That's just fine.
A fast pass. And that's why it honestly worked, because yeah, it would have been damn near impossible without bullshit magic to be able to like actually roll high enough to convince these dudes. But with your nonsense modifier, the fact that you can just like ignore all luck and just say flat 15 plus 17 minimum. That's what it takes to push past that kind of challenge.
Convince gods.
Yep.
Literally convince gods. Wish we had that when we were talking to Rudy Rock. Jeez.
Yeah, would have been handy. Or the Guardian of Elysium to convince them of your worthiness.
It's real rough. Oh man, that was really fun though.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Well, that I hope that reveals, maybe doesn't reveal, but like expands on the mystery of Ingvar a little bit.
It does. I think it makes slightly more sense. It's like, okay, these components of the same entity, they're in different realms, but they're kind of the same person.
He's essentially just like the manifestation of luck, and good or bad, and like these different, anagrams of his name. Ingvar is like the in between, sort of like avatar of this entity that wanders the realm and presents good and bad luck opportunities to adventurers, people with lots of luck around them anyway. He's kind of drawn to them just by chance, and gives them the opportunity for cool stuff like cool magic tattoos.
But then also like gives them like curse of bad luck.
Right. If they're willing to take it on. Usually Ingvar is a good luck kind of opportunity, but if you are desperate.
But like the when we were rolling 13s, was that Nivrag or was that
was Nivrag?
Ingvar?
Nivrag watching. Okay. And so like really none of these names are particularly official. They're all just anagrams of the same letters. I would say Ingvar the Ephemeral is the proper term for this entity as a whole. But
and then he just has these different facets of himself.
Right.
Fascinating. Very good.
And now you have a, as of yet undetermined, ongoing, probably good thing with Ingvar. You changed your bad luck curse for something else.
Probably good luck
outcome.
Curse. He seemed really nice.
Yeah. We'll see when that comes up, if ever.
An hour of your time.
What's an hour?
I kind of was thinking that he would just like make my life skip an hour, which was neither good nor terrible.
What's an hour?
Unless it's the wrong hour.
Smiles.
So
very important hour.
Yeah, that's the state of things. I don't know if you noticed, but you did have the blessing of the horse god. Everyone has that, so you can, even though you had a fortuitous unicorn appear at the last moment, you can also do that at will once in the future with the blessing of the horse god.
Randomly summoning you. Yeah, I heard the conversation with Darren. You're like, okay, you can't just have the seed forever.
You get it for like a specific task, and that's it.
One thing, yeah. I like paused it to be like, dude, did you hear about the thing that we have now? And then like unpaused it, and you like clarified, yeah, that it.
Yep.
Good. Okay.
Well, I think you got your thing at 3:30 or whatever. I'll let you get to that.
Well, yeah, not a big deal, but I think we're done.
Yeah.
That was super fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll do Josh tomorrow.
Yes, your turn tomorrow. You excited? Yeah. He's like, yeah. Okay.
Right. Thanks. Have a great Saturday. See you later.
You too. Bye.